Gate, and due to the fact that the internet right now is exploding. We are live now, and I wasn't before, which means I said some things which were not on air. But again, impromptu, no preparation, did this last minute, right now, right here.
Awesome. So yeah, tweeting about this.
See if we can get Roguestar in this.
Oh, I will invite him in the call.
I'm not sure you want to get Roguestar right now.
I really don't care. Why not get Roguestar in?
If we want to get fucking views.
Alright.
Get the man of the hour, the man who set this all off.
Yeah.
Outside the poll post.
All right,
and then for the record there, the only way we can really verify that is to confirm that Home Depot is not renewing that contract with Gawker. If we can do that, then he basically got evidence, unless it's already been confirmed ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me get. Yeah. I'm gonna invite Roguestar in. Hold on a second. I'm being a derp.
Okay, yeah. So.
What's a link to the YouTube so I can make a post on HN?
I just tweeted about it. You can find my tweet.
Yeah, just can't make it easy. Gotta make it hard for me.
So yeah, going back to the IGF leak, this is all the stuff that was.
One moment. Dan, who's watching, I would like to have you in, but you're associated with Tech Raptor, and I'd rather you not be like directly involved with a Gamergate operation of this nature at this time. So
it's for your own good, man.
Yeah, nothing personal. Feel free to watch, and even you can even report on it if you like.
Okay, so Roguestar at least retweeted it. Blade might want on.
He wants on the stream.
I don't know. He might.
I'm just gonna message him with a link. See if he just comes in.
Anyways, so Flashbang Studios invested $2,500 for 1.79% share in voting rights in Fez, right?
Mm-hmm.
They on their website state that they work with IGF. Not even hiding it. They work with IGF. We are actively involved in a number of other projects on the old interwebs, including IGF is the first one listed.
Hmm.
And if you go to Queasy Games, which invested $10,000 for a 7.14% share and voting rights, Everyday Shooter, 2007, winner of the IGF for design innovation and excellence in audio.
Okay, let me get these files up so I can actually read them myself. I've just been busy.
In the IGF leak, it's go to Shadow Indie Fund P19.
Gotcha. I did download the zip file, so I should have that all on my computer already.
Yep, that's what you want to look at.
Yep. Definitely.
But yeah, so, and then you go to App Above Games, which invested another $10,000. I haven't really looked too deep into that right now, but basically, San Diego, 2003, same as all the other things.
Mm-hmm. So what I gather is a lot of this connects back with two specific games, Fez, and the other one being.
Well, no, these are all companies that have invested in Fez.
Wow.
Like, these are companies that invested in, like, literally IGF people investing in Fez. In the case of Flashbang Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't really looked. Okay, so more of the old Googling. Let's see here. Stoneberg Software Development. Huh.
Okay, just extracted the zip file, and I'm going to look at it myself.
Yeah.
Has to be a doc file, doesn't it?
No, Shadow Indie Fund, and it's a fucking PNG file.
Hello, everybody. Rogue Star is en route.
Excellent.
Hello,
Oh,
Satan.
favorite person.
I'm glad you made it, my friend.
Thank you.
By the way, can I confirm that Blady is here?
He said he wanted in, but I don't know if he's actually in here.
Okay, so he'll be coming. Got it.
God, there's like so many tabs open.
God, here, let me set it up so... Yeah, I tried to make a separate thread on 8chan, but it said I got hit with spam filter, so I just put it in the Solution 6 stream.
I'm trying to find the link to the Hangout.
Yeah, if you want people to come in, just like give them the hangout privately.
Yeah, I just sent Blade the Hangout over IRC.
Awesome. Blade a girl or guy?
Blade is a guy.
Okay.
He wanted the Rogue Star.
Hello, Roguestar. Man of the hour.
All hail the champion hero.
Hello.
This thing started now.
So yeah, we're digging in your files, Rogue Star.
Oh, really? Are you going for the Gibson? Are you Holy shit! How many people on stream here? Hey.
Hang
number
on,
of
I'll
us.
give you a link. This is impromptu. It was just thought up of 10 minutes ago, and we only got 30 people.
Well, Operation Skynet's doing its job, so.
Yeah, I'm going to just be monitoring the stream, see if we get anyone. I'm assuming people watching, you already have the zip, so you're looking through this as well, or should I link it to you guys?
Yeah, Rogue Star, I'm looking through the IGF stuff, and there's a lot of interesting things in here.
This is alright. About the IGF stuff, it's new happenings, old happenings, all the data, all the IGF contacts I could find. I mean, this is just stuff that's published by the IGF participants themselves. All right, none of this is like black hat stuff. This is just
Obviously.
Yeah, I found this information and they collected it themselves and they published it themselves. None of this is docs. The only contention stuff about this is basically someone who's part of the stream, and I want to thank that someone, is brave enough to publish the confidential edited data that come from Polytron. And, it's not going to be like stuff that physically harms anybody or puts them in danger. No, none of that. It's basically just exposing the corruption and the collusion and financial connections between people in the IGF and the judging pool. And it's all the old analysis, all the new analysis. It's not enough for me to freaking explain.
We're not asking for an explanation. This is just us digging into it and really starting to this is more. This stream makes it more existing, so that we all have a public record of what digging goes on tonight.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of digging that should be involved in this. I mean, it's a massive list of IGF Twitters, emails, and Facebooks, like all their participants. I mean,
I'm more interested in the Fez investors.
The Fez investors, I released all the analysis on that one, and I topped it off with the research that I did myself, and I explicitly stated. Two conclusions I can come up with, and even William Usher can, the guy who's been doing the...
we all know Usher.
Yeah, everybody knows William Usher is. He can confirm some of this stuff with me. In fact, he's confirmed already 2 IGF people who are Fez investors. So, first conclusion, this entire Polytron leak that happened back in August where Phil Fish and Polytron got hacked and shit, the data from that one could be one massive hoax. All 1.5 fucking gigabytes of it. One massive hoax. Everything's fucking tailored. Everything's fucking faked out. And this could be just one joke from Phil Fish, GNAA, and fucking that stupid whore Zoe Quinn. It's just a joke for them. To me, that conclusion is extremely low probability, because I've run. There's some people who've been anonymously researching this stuff. They've done like optical character recognition on some of this shit already. They've checked out the people who've admitted that yes, I am a Fez investor, and a lot of this data checks in. So if this is a hoax, it's very extremely low probability. So that's the first conclusion. The second conclusion is there's a lot of this data that's correct, and the IGF and the Indicate are implicated in a massive corruption inquiry, basically, because they rely on anonymous judgment.
Well, if it is all legitimate, then it's not just that; it's actual criminal fraud.
This goes on criminal fraud. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, no, it's like people paid to have their games in this.
Well, no shit.
That's fraud.
This would be all moot, all bunk if the IGF and the Indicate were free competitions. And if people were doing this on the side, and it's like, okay, it's just a shadow fund. They don't explicitly say it, but they charge between $95 to $110, both in the IGF and the Indicate. I'm like, for a game dev like me, that's 1 month worth of groceries, dude. $100. So I mean, just think about that, and 600 plus indie game devs that are attending the IGF this year, plus the thousands and thousands of people who submit to the Indicate. So this isn't just the IGF. There's also the Indicate, and a lot of people have been participating through this for many, many years. So I don't really know. I've compiled all this data. I've put it up. I've taken shit all day from goddamn shills who are like, oh my god, they were trying to do this shit, dude. This morning, some people dug through my public Facebook photos and started putting up pictures of me hanging out with my friends and pictures of me and my girlfriend. I'm like, you're trying to intimidate me with that, pictures I enjoy and I'm proud to post publicly, right? So, what are they doing now? They're trying to threaten me like, oh, we know who your girlfriend is. We know who your friends are. I'm like, yeah, you think I'm hardcore. Wait till you meet the fucking people who, are close to me. They're even far more hardcore than I am.
So essentially, what's going on here is a big issue of impropriety on the IDF and the people participating in to be judged for the awards.
Yeah, it's been happening since 2012, when Fez and Hazard, or Antichamber, formerly known as Hazard, both of them got renominated. It's like Hazard, which is now known as Antichamber, was nominated in 2011. Then it got nominated again in 2012, the same year as Fez. Guess who's involved in Hazard? Indie Fund. The same people who are fucking involved with the Fez, the Fez investment pool. I'm like, god damn it, it's like, if the same people get renominated and it's the same funding circle that gets implicated all the time, this isn't conspiracy theory anymore. Especially when there's fucking records of this, of money exchanging hands. I wouldn't mind this so much if, they could be friends backing up friends. Fuck that. You know what? That's like, all right, whatever. You're just unethical. But there's money involved now. Money.
One thing I'm looking at.
Money. Yeah.
So I'm looking at Flashbang, which invested $2,500 into Fez, right?
I don't know the exact numbers, man.
Anyways,
it's on there.
Yeah. So Flashbang Studios invested $2,500 into Fez. One of their employees, Ben, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Whatever. He just tweeted on November 4th, "Sigh, forever a judge forbidden from entry. Fuck you, GG, IGF."
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Ben Miri?
No, Ben Reuse or something.
Weird. I don't know. I don't know the implications of that tweet, but
And I don't know the implications either, but it's just very interesting that someone who's apparently working with IGF is saying "fuck you" to them when they were an investor with Fez back then.
yeah, that's weird.
It's just kind of interesting to me.
Can we make the assumption that he found out that the IGF was rigged?
Well,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, when you think about this, let's take in one of the more, I would say, honest people in this, the programmer for Fez. I really kind of feel for the guy because,
Yeah.
To me, he made Fez, not Phil Fish. Fuck Phil Fish. I don't want to talk about him.
Sprite work, and that
But-
was it.
Say what?
Phil Fish did the sprite work, right? He was just an artist.
I don't even know, dude. I dug through all their data. I mean, it's like, okay, he did some QA. He's probably on the business end. I've never really looked into Fez's development history except through the eyes of the programmer. The
But he was a
programmer
really
did everything.
shitty DJ.
Well, yeah, Fish is now a shitty DJ, but the programmer, he actually bounced, and he's now with Capybara Games, and Capybara, the owner, was one of Fez's investors. And what's so strange about this Polytron data leak, too, it's like, I'm giving this a benefit of the doubt, all right? I'm thinking of it from, okay, I'm a businessman. Why the fuck am I going to digitize all this data? Contracts, loans, the fucking financial ledgers.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, this is interesting to me. Like, so
Why
I'm looking
would
at
you
this guy.
digitize all
no,
of that and put it in one big file, and for some reason it'll get leaked on the internet. I'm like, why? Why would you digitize that? I would just keep that on paper. Paper you can burn and store physically. Digital data can leak, can go all over the web, can implicate parties that you don't want digging into your business. And I'm thinking from we're just doing clean business. Now I'm thinking from a criminal mind. If I'm implicated with people who are judges and jurors and people who are influential in the Indicate and IGF, I sure as hell won't fucking, leave digital tracks on this. So to me, everything that's about Fez and the investment sector with it, it's either malice or stupidity. Stupidity in the case of gross ignorance that these guys think that it's okay to be financially involved with X, Y, and Z.
Who did the redaction on these documents? Some stuff is blacked out. Was that you? Did you do that to protect people?
Yeah. Hold on a second. I got a call. Sorry. I'll be right back.
All right.
So, like, I'm looking at the Ben Reyes guy, who's apparently pissed at IGF, even though he works for a company that works with IGF. Anyways, one of the people he's friends with is the development director for Guild Wars 2, Christian Bornman, who is regularly retweeting stuff about Anti-Gamergate, and was pissed that Gerstmann didn't win, and is talking about Randy Harper and how X-Bro doesn't speak for anyone, and yeah. Apparently, like, what? Apparently she was the person who made the SJW block list.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Like, you know how
Which
they
one?
made the SJW block list to, like, troll us?
Oh, you're talking about the false flag.
Apparently she was the one that made it.
Oh.
So wait. Explain this SJW block list, because the block list I'm familiar with is the one made by the
Okay, so-
atheist.
No, Whale made the original block list, right?
Oh, Randy Harper? Yeah.
She made the original block list, and then apparently this woman, who's the fucking development director for Guild Wars 2, helped create the Social Justice Warrior block list, which is a fucking Ghazi troll.
So what is that block list? Who does it
It's
block?
basically a collection of like people in Ghazi and stuff who wanted to make a block list of themselves to try and troll us into getting us to use it, so that we would be fucking blacklisting as well.
So they provided a list of themselves for us? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently, yeah.
So download the list.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound like...
Oh no, I go to the thing and then file not found, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
That's a honeypot, in my opinion.
But yeah, it basically sounds like a giant honeypot that a fucking development director for a AAA game is running. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay,
So-
I'm back.
It's obvious big, just ignore it and move on.
So, Rogue, were these documents already redacted when you got them, or did you personally apply the blackout?
I personally applied to blackout. I even, took out some files that were like, this doesn't apply so much. But I had to basically post everything that was, it's financial records, the financial involvement of Fez, people who were involved in the IGF, people who are involved in the Indiecade, whether or not they're jurors, judges, or just, one is Keely Santiago. She was the Indiecade Awards chair in 2011, and I'm like, wow, that's like the highest rank that could possibly touch awards. And Fez won 2 major awards in 2011 for Indiecade, not to mention Antichamber, or for the product formerly known as Hazard. That also was an Indiecade finalist in 2011. So it's like, in any case, it was all these financial data. It has to be broadcast. These people made some decent money from their investment, and I'm not saying like everybody got out with like $1 million or anything. As a matter of fact, even if they didn't make any money, I would have still published this because there is a financial relationship with these people, and it's quite amusing to know that Fez was delayed until the IGF Awards in like 2012. They delayed Fez over and over and over again, and then released it, right? When I was looking at some of the documents related to Microsoft and Fez's relationship with Microsoft at that time, they were basically signing it for like, I think, an Xbox development plan. I don't know. It's in one of the documents over there. They basically had a schedule with Microsoft where, as early as summer 2010, Fez would be out, like out the door, shipped as a product. And to me, as a game dev, give that another year. Summer 2011 at the latest for your development plan. Keep in mind, this is in the context where Fez was playable in 2008, and it won in 2008. Very prestigious award. Like I think it was nominated for art category, so art style for Fez was like ooh, and it was playable back then. So it's like a product that has hundreds of thousands of dollars of financial backing, already has an award, already has a development structure. Microsoft agreed to it too, and it gets pushed all the way to April 2012, dude. I'm like, why? You don't need all these fucking awards. You're already, despite how I hate Phil Fish and how I think Fez is not really my style, it's a shippable product. You can just go out there and pimp out, hey, I won 2008 IGF, man. Push it out there.
Pissed about the Dragon Age Sisquisition winning a video game award when it was nominated for an award before it came out. This thing actually won an award almost 4 years before it came out.
Wait, what?
Did you hear about this?
When was it?
The Games Award, the Dorito Pope Award show.
Fuck that award show. I mean, I don't trust any award show that has like obvious insider circles like that. I mean, it's gotten far where people say that this is, oh, grow up. This is how the industry works. I'm like, okay, so you guys are just gonna give awards to your friends, your financial connections. You're gonna compare yourselves to the fucking Oscars or something. I'm like, nah. There's got to be something that YouTubers and gamers and people like Total Biscuit, where they could set up their own award show. I mean, they've got real metrics. You go on YouTube, right? Here's the thing: why a lot of these, insider people in the IGF and AAA fucking hate YouTubers, because YouTube people have metrics. They have real hard data. When you go on stream and you subscribe, that's a real metric. You can pimp that out. Total Biscuit has what, half or a quarter million followers, some odd over. I mean, they can't make those metrics up. These people literally built themselves from the ground, and there's a trust relationship with that. So if these guys like Total Biscuit or a lot of the YouTubers set up their own award show where there's a clear-cut, hey, this is not a process, holy fucking shit, dude.
It's all over now.
Anyway.
Can you stop calling him? God damn it.
But yeah, I think the
The man of the
YouTubers
hour.
should set up their own award show and set up an IGF replacement. I mean, it's going to be like the People's Choice, something where objective goals and objective metrics are met, instead of, ooh, I don't know, let's get this insider and this insider and have them go pimp awards for their fucking friends or financial connections.
Now, am I reading these payment docs correctly? Does Polytron actually have a 9.6% revenue share with the Indie Fund?
Yes.
And they paid them $20,000 in 2012?
Yep.
And then this is after they won the first award and before they won the second award, right?
Yup.
This is right when they won the second award and shipped out to Xbox Live, and then also, well, they have 1 year profit share for Xbox Live and 6 months profit share for PC.
Now, for you viewers out there who haven't seen these documents yet, these numbers are staggering. We're talking about $700,000 worth of revenue in each of these fucking payment statements. We're talking 10% revenue shares. We're talking $130,000 paid to Trapdoor, $104,000 paid to Jason DeGroot.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
not something that you just write one line off in your book. These are something that people have entire books set aside for these kind of payments. It's
This
really,
isn't
it can be
PayPal
concerning.
level shit. This is serious fucking money.
Yeah, it's serious money, and I don't know who watched Indie Game the movie. If you guys know the movie, and
Yeah, it's actually available on Steam. You can buy it.
yeah,
It's
remember
also on
when?
Netflix.
Yeah, remember when Phil Fish was going off on his partner Jason DeGroot and just thrashing him throughout the entire film?
Yep.
Jason DeGroot, who saved his company from fucking
Saved his
total
company,
collapse.
dude. I looked into the documents. One of the very first loans for Fez was Jason DeGroot family, like a family loan, man, that comes from their own kin. So it's like, okay, my family's gonna back up the business. I'm gonna be invested in it. I'm like, cool, bro. Thanks. I mean, I'll
How do you
admit
turn
some-
a guy? How do you turn on a guy like that over money?
Yeah, I know, man. I
Fucking
mean,
know
it's
that.
like, I'll admit this now. In my Kickstarter project, I didn't even know about it, but my family backed me up through an anonymous donation. Family I haven't heard from in years. And it was actually a point where I reconciled with my family on that one. It's like, wow, I didn't know you guys anonymously donated to me. It's like, it's not about the money at that point. It's about, someone's trying to build trust with you on this. And for Phil Fish to go on Jason DeGroot like that in the film, and I look at everything that started off on that, it's like Jason DeGroot did a family loan. He co-signed, Jason DeGroot is the one that co-signed for the Indie Fund. it's like, wow, that's what, hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment. I would love that kind of funding, man. My Kickstarter only got me 18 grand. We lasted about 8 months on that, and the rest, like, yeah, we can work on our own time on this one, but at least we got paid during our alpha phase. And it's like I'm looking at these guys, a lot of people defend Phil Fish, and I'm like, this dude has so much money. He has like all the money in the world to me. I could live like a king on 300 grand. I could make that stretch for 10 years, dude. He has a programmer. He's got, clout in Gama Sutra. It's so absurd the way this guy's been acting all these years. And I don't know if Phil Fish is listening to this right now, but what the fuck, dude? Why are you acting like that? You got money, you got connections, and you go on this film and just thrash your partner. It's like, wow.
That's one of the
He's
things
paying
that fucking
Jonathan
drive.
Blow money too. He gave a couple $1,000 to Jonathan Blow.
This sounds a lot like if you've seen the backstories of the mobsters and how they exchange hands and how they get people in and how people want to strive for the Don's tables and stuff like that. This money hand exchange stuff is how it worked in the business for quite a while, and that's basically what it came down to, is how they end up shooting each other in the back, and that's what we're seeing now. Because there was so much money exchanging hands that you couldn't tell who was on your side because everyone could be paid off. It didn't matter who it was. It just took enough money. So they all were paying each other off into one pool, into basically Fez.
Yeah, but the difference between the mob and these fucks is that the mob at least had some semblance of professionalism to them, whereas these guys are just like a bunch of fucking toddlers running wild, lashing out on anything and everything.
That actually is what the mob turned into, actually.
Well, the mob was also
we're talking about the classical
ones.
mob. I mean, they wouldn't target children. These people dox the guy's children to get him to be quiet.
I mean, fuck. That's the thing that's driven me crazy about this, is that there's been no fucking professionalism in the fucking industry, it seems.
Well, I think that has to do more, it's because this is over the internet, so they can't actually see the consequence for their actions. All they see is the screen, so that allows them to be much more immoral, since they don't actually see the results of what they're doing.
Yeah, well, the mobster first had their actual status, and then when shit went crazy and they started attacking each other, like now, that's when they turned to shit.
We're probably talking about when there was some semblance of order.
Yeah, they had some semblance of order. Now because everybody started turning on everybody, they all stab each other in the back now, basically.
Yep, save yourself. Although I'm sure some of the bigger ones got, it's like Blair Alexander and her alleged mutually assured destruction plan.
It looks like Richard Vreeland might have only gotten a few $1,000s for the Fez soundtrack. Doesn't look like he's getting paid off.
Oh, dude, Vreeland got a lot of money. Look again.
Did you get it all up front?
No, the soundtrack make a lot of money. It's supposed to be there. I don't know if we included it.
Is this just 1 month?
Huh?
These are like whole years worth of statements, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's
the amount of money going to Vreeland is significantly less than is going to everybody else.
I don't know. I think Vreeland
We don't like him as much.
Anyway, I mean, people should realize there was a lot of money made from Fez. It wasn't like, ooh, this humble indie project. Nah, to me, Fez is a shadow AAA fund.
It made millions of dollars, this game.
Yeah,
millions of dollars
this isn't
from.
an indie game.
Well, it's still in. I would say.
No, not with all these entrenched interests involved in it.
That's true. That's what not made it an indie
But
game.
did Notch have 100 people on staff?
Say who?
You remember Notch from Minecraft? He made shit tons of money. Did he have this many people involved?
He actually viraled that himself, and he actually for better or for worse, he got Minecraft to be a massive mega hit on its own merits.
Yeah, Minecraft was a good marketing and a good business plan. Notch knows his business, straight up. When Notch entered, I think, the 2011th IGF, I'm not sure, but he won an IGF. It's pretty much a landslide. I wouldn't criticize Notch's business plan. I mean, I want that kind of fucking business, man. I mean, he literally built Alpha Funding, and that's why Notch and Mojang is successful, is because they kept everything in house. Like, they didn't have any entangling relationships with like Jonathan Blow or the IGF or Keely Santiago, One thing that I believe destroyed the Fez sort of momentum is that it stopped being indie right when it started going in the indie fund. Now you have to appease investors just like any other AAA joint, because the indie fund is trying to pitch itself as
It's killing indie games. It's literally taking them in and devouring them.
Yeah, and guess who just joined the indie fund? $3.3 million man.
Oh my god.
He's part of the indie fund now, Mr. Tim of Legend. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it goes pretty deep.
the guy literally, I'll have to admit this, the guy literally saved my career when he started the Kickstarter flood. That flood in February 2012. It was like, Double Fine can do this on Kickstarter. They got $1 million. It was like, well, gee, a bunch of indies submitted to that too. I was part of that tide. FleetCom was part of that tide. Without that tide, FleetCom would probably not get funded at all. We wouldn't get the art assets that we needed to make. And now, because of $3.3 million being used on an Episode 1 game, it's like, well, shit.
That doesn't sound like indie funding, That sounds like
Shit management. I'll say it right here. Kotick was right.
Yeah, Kotick was right. I mean, what can I do with $3.3 million? And keep in mind, I didn't.
a lot of hookers and blow.
Well, besides.
Well, I mean, maybe
I would
that
take some
3.3
fucking
million
robots
would.
and shit.
Well, I mean, maybe maybe Schaefer pulled a Caddyshack with that 3.3 million and budgeted a dedicated few million to cocaine.
Well,
I'm gonna write this cocaine off on the budget, boys. It's fine.
Oh, maybe that's what Dev Blow is with that whole.
I'll give you 3 words for what I would do with $3.3 million. Cockfighting plus robots.
robot cockfighting.
Well, 4 words then.
and,
that's
and the guy
robot
uses
cockfighting.
Unity engine, for Christ's sakes. It's not like they had to build an engine from scratch like I did. It's not like they're pretty starved for talent. They're already an established studio. I mean, what can I do with $3.3 million minus all the taxes? I calculated this from Kickstarter. It's like 10% goes to Amazon, so he's got $3 million left. And then there's the flake out factor. See, not all Kickstarters pay off, like people who pledge to you. There's actually, when the numbers grow big enough, there's going to be like a 10% to 5% of those people and backers actually don't have the money during that time, and their payments don't kick in. So even with all of that, he's still got $2.5 million.
Not to mention that, but correct me if I'm wrong here. Didn't Double Fine self-publish games like Stacking and Costume Quest and fucking Brutal Legend to Steam before the Kickstarter?
Yeah, they had a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean those games were not like
I'm
successful.
suspended.
They sold a ton of money.
Oh look, I'm suspended.
Yeah, I just saw. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Which account? So keep track.
The backup one, or the one that you were tweeting to me at?
Rogue,
The
get
one I
working
was-
on it out.
Hold on, just get a check if things are suspended.
Well, while we're
Yeah,
doing this,
I can confirm. I actually checked. You are suspended again.
Well, while this is going on, we should discuss my new idea. We should open up a video platform service called RogueStarHipHop.com, where every time we sign up, we'll have Roguestar just scream out his name. It will make millions.
Roguestar suspended again. Oh, thank God FleetCom's not suspended. So the dickwads didn't suspend my game project account.
Honestly,
But-
I've been seeing lately. There's been a lot of like internet wars going on in the background, and I think that it's directly it's directly tied to this because it can't be a coincidence that December 7th, basically 4chan goes nuclear, 8chan and 2chan get.
8chan, you name it. All of the chans are at war right now. We've got Anonymous trying to take down Lizard Squad. There's all sorts of crazy shit happening today.
Well, there's like a whole bunch of black hat stuff going on behind the scenes right now too.
Yeah.
Nice job, bro.
I'm
You
just
started
checking
the
my
World War.
I'm checking my backup account. All right, my backup account, which will not be named until it proper in due time. My backup account is still alive. FleetCom is still alive. Yeah, suspended from Twitter.
He's keeping it secret till he uploads his avatar again for the 17th time. For his
Well,
new account.
it's pretty obvious when you look for this account.
Oh yeah,
It's
I mean,
Roguestar,
at
but
this
the
point,
underscore is at the end, I bet.
I was telling him to do the Rogue with 3 E's at the end, like I do my name.
Yeah, I'm suspended again. But FleetCom is not suspended because that belongs to my team. That's a product. It's not a Gamergate thing.
Yeah,
that
there's
would just be a
I think
dick
even
move
Twitter
on
would
my
know that you can't always suspend that account.
Yeah. Any case, they're saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm suspended." But oh my God, just spread that info, please.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Oh,
got
I
it.
will. I think everyone here will be spreading that info because this is making them mad. Like
Spread it using the Solution6 hashtag, and make sure to post some really funny pictures with it. The funniest picture will get a lot of lulz from me.
And
Hail
everyone
Satan.
knows you need
Surprise.
lulz from Satan.
Bro, going
My
back to
lulz
this
are really
Fez
funny
thing.
too.
Bro, going back to this Fez thing, the list of payments is from April 2013 to May 2014, right?
What was that?
For the range of the dates of payments in this documentation, it's April 2013 to May 2014, right?
I can't remember. I just put it up all there, dude.
Okay, well, it looks roughly about a year or 13 months worth of payments. Now, to put that in perspective for people that haven't looked at it, April 13, 2012 is when Fez was released. These payments started about a year later, so Fez has already been out for a year. It probably had its Christmas sale. In that year, from May 2013 to June 2014, just on Steam, Fez made 1.7 million. I think that's pretty fucking astounding, and that's just for Steam.
Yeah. Anyway, it's quite clear that Fez made a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not a problem if Fez just kept its house in order. But when when that data broke out and my source just gave me the data, I didn't hack into Fez or anything like that.
So you're why he canceled Fez 2.
Oh my God, Roguestar.
Holy shit.
You know, that evil fucking broke ass indie dev who used to work on fucking Zynga games on fucking Facebook. Yeah, I'm so fucking evil, dude. I don't know, when I looked at it and I recognized one name, and her name was Keely Santiago. And I was like, wait a minute, Fez won this award in 2011, and I just connected the dot, and I was like, she's an investor. She was the awards chair in 2011.
Yup.
Wow, holy shit. And if you guys remember the Camera Lady videos, I was one of the people in that crew. It was myself, 3 other Anonymous, and Camera Lady. And I was hoping something would happen with the Camera Lady videos, but those got taken down. I mean, that's why I kind of, put this op out here just a little bit closer, right in the heart of IGF judging. It's when it happens right here, when they start selecting who's finalists and who goes to nominations. It's this month in December. That's why it's kind of critical. If people really want to go on this op, people want to email, talk, Twitter, and Facebook all these game devs who are still in the IGF, who may not know all this data that's out here that's not being published by freaking Kotaku and all these journalist institutions who are supposed to be fucking doing their job. It's up to Gamergate, you know. I mean, we've just collected the data, collected the research. It's going to be useless if people don't read it, if people are not interested in it. It's
not only that, we have to be able to disseminate it properly.
That's true. And even if Gamergate does its thing, which it's good at, it's disseminating information, broadcasting, and boosting the signal. Indie devs, it's up to them too. I mean, if they want to accept this system where they're just complying with an inner clique of financial connections, if they want to get cucked like that, I don't want to call myself an independent developer at all.
Well, the information has... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if they want to stay in that sort of corrupt loop and beg for scraps, fuck them. I'm not their peer, dude. I mean, I can respect their decisions if they want to go through the IGF and they think it's, a thing for them, but I can no longer pretend that they're going through a fair system. I just got a message from one of the guys here. He says he got a response from one of the indie devs saying that, well, we don't have much of a voice. We can't do much, actually. I was like,
you can pull out.
Yeah, pull out and
the
get
rest
your
of it.
$100.
We're really close to just fucking wanting to stop buying everything associated with the IGF at this point. Really close.
Yeah, I mean, it's just inform them. If they want to pay $100 for a corrupt system, fuck, man. I mean, game over, man. Game over. I can't do everything. Not even Gamergate can do everything. So, in order for this happening to go on, they have to, broadcast this. And right now I'm freaking suspended.
I think it's more than just.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's more than just the indie devs and IGF though. It's it's the mainstream devs and the AAA who are going to have to fight back against this all stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, mainstream doesn't have too much to do with the IGF and indie developers.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, as much as we have to get the indie developers to stand up to IGF, we have to get the mainstream developers to stand up to places like Kotaku and all this other shit that's out there.
Yeah, I agree. And now's the time for doing that. Anyway, I'm going to go... Hold on a second, all right? I'm just going to go talk to Twitter and say, why am I suspended?
Okay.
I'm sure they'll respond very quickly.
Yes, so the information has been sent to federal groups to see if this piques their interest, since it involves those particular federal groups specifically. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens with that, considering it would actually violate very public trust regulations and market control violations that this information does actually infringe upon.
Yeah, let's just face it. Indie devs are yeah, these indie devs are independent. They're not going to be happy with, knowing that their money that they're putting into this fund, which is getting a lot of money, is just basically being used as a means of corruption to promote what they want specifically, without any sort of fairness or measures taken to avoid impropriety.
Yeah,
it's a
the
racket,
FTC
basically.
is not going to be happy either.
Nope. Alright, it doesn't matter if Rogue starts suspended. Ops Skynet, I helped reboot, so we're going to go spread this live ourselves. Like, Twitter wants it. Yeah. What's Twitter going to do? Suspend all of us? It's just not going to happen.
Honestly, it would be a great thing if they suspended all of us, because then we could fucking take this to the press and be like, look, you don't do this to the fucking Nazis, you don't do this to ISIS, why are you doing it to a bunch of gamers?
Right.
If Twitter tries to suspend me, I'm going to play the race cut on their asses hard. What's that, you motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Suspend me? You want to suspend all Mexicans, you sons of bitches? Man, fuck you. I'm being oppressed. Help me.
Oh, Twitter, you want to suspend me? I'm a lesbian. You want to suspend all lesbians? Wow, thanks, Twitter.
Yeah, you know what? I'm half Mexican, half Ukrainian, you fuck. Oh, jeez, I didn't know you were fucking Russia, you asshole.
How did that even happen?
America, that's how. Fucking melting pot.
Yeah, if we want to
pull up of fucking immigrants, man.
But I mean,
the last
this
time
information-
my family had race mixing was when the Anglos met the Saxons.
I mean, obviously, top priority here should be spreading this information everywhere. I mean, like the first
Yeah.
step is always
I mean,
getting the
everyone-
information
Yeah.
out.
So anyway, I'm suspended, and I'll have to, I guess, throw in this one weird theory that I have in the back of my head. When I was at UC Santa Cruz, I didn't, I made a couple of enemies there, and one of the guys ended up working for Twitter. That I know of now. It's like, oh, that douchebag works for Twitter now. So I think one of the moderators is just straight up trolling the shit out of me.
I don't know if they even really have moderators. They might just ban people that get too many reports.
Well, the thing about Twitter,
I think it's automation, yeah.
Yeah, what you have to realize about Twitter, though, is it's enemy territory. It's confirmed. One of the founders was at XOX Fest. That's not any kind of tinfoily conspiracy. You go to his Wikipedia page, and it shows a photo of him at XOX Fest. These guys are based in San Francisco. You think there's no collusion going on? I mean, it's not provable at this point, but it's highly evident based on the fact that they keep on banning people from our side, but the antis, who have spilt far more blood than Gamergate ever could, just keep on doing what they could. We have Randy Harper guilty of TOS violations, and what do? They give her a free pass. They let her go, and they let her use the block bot. The very least they could do is get rid of that thing because it violates their terms of service, but they refuse. So Twitter really is enemy territory, and we have to realize that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. When we were making parody accounts of like their big figureheads, they didn't do it. I mean, they removed us instantly, but when they do the opposite, it just, for internet aristocrat back in the day, those stay around forever. So I mean, it's not a moderate kind of thing. It's extremely one-sided.
It's not like we have an opposite. I thought we have a thing we
Alex-
can do instead of Twitter.
I do like to talk people down from the brink a lot when they bring up guilty by association. But the XOXO Fest at this point is so bad that, I mean, it would be like catching somebody going to a black mass and then having them try to say that they're not Satanists. XOXO Fest is essentially a religious gathering at this point.
Such that, like I linked earlier, that chick who works as a development lead for Guild Wars 2, and she was at XOXO, and she fucking helped with a Ghazi op.
Oh, and she tweeted "Listen and believe" and said feminine frequency was right.
Fuck that.
Like, this is a AAA developer, fucking team director for a AAA game.
Well, that's
Right,
just going to come
but
out
does
of
that
the wash
dev
when that
necessarily represent the entirety of their fucking studio? I mean, I get it, they're ahead and all that, but I doubt that person represents all the opinions in fucking ArenaNet.
No, it probably doesn't, but
It's the fact that someone's out there is an issue.
Right, it's still
Disturbing.
it's the
fucking
fact that
shitty.
someone in a position of power is out there doing that.
Right, it's still shitty, I'm not going to deny that.
Trying to disagree with somebody who controls your livelihood is very, very, very difficult to do.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
look at Leigh Alexander. She brags about destroying the careers of upcoming journalists.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and Brianna Wu's trying to, take down my FleetCom Twitter handle. I was like, it's still up here. That's a good thing.
I mean, fuck, it's not like Wu's game is worth anything. I mean, fuck, I just watched the trailer of it, but god damn,
you know what's,
she awful
you know what's
writing
creepy
dialogue.
when Brianna Wu is trying to dox me about like where I live and all that shit. She doesn't even know my fucking name. And here I am. She stumbles across my LinkedIn profile. I was like,
Let me.
yeah.
I just want to say this because this is great. If you guys want to hear something funny, this is a quote of dialogue from the trailer for Brianamu's game, Revolution 60. I'm an assassin. Vehicular combat is my specialty. Completely unironically, it is so fucking awful.
Wow.
By the way, there is actual gameplay of her game. It's amazing. It's as amazing as you think it is. I'm
Really?
just gonna leave you with that.
It's like
You want to know what it is?
No, it's more amazing than you think it is. It's
And here's
more
the thing, when you
amazing
look
than you
at
think.
her-
Guys, can we talk about the fact that Anita Tito, you need to mute your mic.
Nah, it's Rogue. You can pull your mic away from your mouth a bit because it's picking up the breathing.
Huh? No. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think it's Rogue. I think it's Tado. He muted himself and it's gone. So,
Yeah.
Jessica, continue.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Anita Sarkeesian is apparently working with EA Games on Mirror's Edge 2.
She's in an advisory role. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, that's
And
been
that
that's
happened
been
years
known for
ago,
years.
like literally 2 years ago. So
Okay, I didn't hear about it till recently, but
That is bigger than you think, actually, because
Oh,
they are
yeah.
doing some pretty weird shit with Mirror's Edge. Did you see that they made the main character much more attractive this time around? I mean, if
Really?
anything, it seems to be devolving.
I did notice that, but also something to keep in mind as well is that Sessler was also in a consultation role for The Evil Within. His consultation company worked with Bethesda on that, so, and you know, there wasn't like anything super fucking SJW-y in that game.
that's the evil within though, so it's like you can't really do too much with that.
Hey,
Well,
I mean,
actually,
that's
I
all
remember a
different,
fun
though.
little story about Mirror's Edge. In the Japanese version, they actually prettied her up in terms of the cover, and then I guess the original artist threw a shit fit over it. In terms
Yeah, that's
of
the kind of shit that I wouldn't stand for as an artist.
Oh, just going back to operations real fast. I think, yeah, the Gamergate freaking pinned tweet about the IGF stuff probably needs revision because I'm suspended.
Yeah, I didn't pin that, but I can edit it, I guess.
I don't know who's in charge of that because they're still well, there it is.
Like I said, I didn't stick it, but I'm the board owner, so I can edit it, I guess.
Oh, well, the data's there, but it's just, oh my god, the just update that saying, hey, the guy's suspended.
It's making me log in again.
Okay, I think someone's attacking 8chan again because the page stopped loading halfway through.
Don't you mean Hey-chan?
Hey, John. It's
See,
been under attack
how
a
much-
bit.
8chan.
Yeah, it's not loading for me.
So
Yeah,
we're under attack
it's
again.
stuck.
Somebody turn on those shell booters.
Did you hear that Patreon is going to be updating their terms of usage, their policies?
Yeah.
Because of me? That's hilarious.
We were talking about taking down the Sarkeesian effect a while ago, and the Kickstarter people were actually recommending that they do take it down.
Wow, that's kind of lame. Because they're just criticizing Anita Sarkeesian. Yeah, that's extremely lame. I mean, it's probably why I suspect Robert Space Industries started crowdfunding on their own, because I don't know. I think in that scene they got a little political with Kickstarter, and they said, hey, fuck it, let's do crowdfunding on our own site. But keep in mind, there's just people like Jordan Owen and Orini just trying to make a film, man. I mean, it's not like a big business or anything like that, But Sarkeesian and Silverstream Media, people need to reevaluate, that whole scene right there, especially when they're starting to take down parody Patreons that. When I set up mine, I didn't give a fuck about it. It was direct parody. It was making fun of people. One of my goals was censoring myself. you know, and
I did like
just
how you
keep
had donated
popping.
yourself $6.66. I thought that was a nice touch.
No, that wasn't me. That was actually people. Why
Did you
make
actually
it?
get $6?
No. It got taken down in 3 hours, man.
Oh, that's terrible. Where did the $6 go?
I think you
don't
only get
know.
that money at the beginning of the month.
We need
Yeah.
to track this $6 down and make sure that it doesn't wind up in the hands of SJWs. We're
It
trying to
hasn't been
look at it.
transferred yet, and how Patreon works is the money gets transferred at the beginning of every month, so it hasn't switched hands. So that $6 is still in the hands of whoever was going to give it.
All right.
Yeah. But they really freaked out about that Kickstarter and saying that I was extorting people. I was like, extorting for what? You know?
To stop posting on Twitter? I mean, that's not extortion. That's just...
or rather to stop broadcasting this IGF investigation that I have that people don't want to fucking see. I mean,
yeah, that's...
go right ahead. Go right ahead and try to censor me. You know, see if I see if my First Amendment rights, which I do believe I fucking have, and I fucking signed up in the military of the United States to fucking practice that fucking right. Yeah, go ahead and try to take my First Amendment rights to me. I mean, I don't like making Gamergate a lot about me, but consider the following, man. I've been suspended 9 times on Twitter already. My account FleetCom got suspended, and that one belongs to my game team and my product. You know, it got suspended because of Wham. My articles on the Escapist got mobbed, and Alexander McChrist just, you know, straight up apologized to me and saying, "Sorry, you had to be a martyr for that one, dude." What else?
Yeah.
I've been censored on Gama Sutra. My blog there that I started 2009 straight up got ganked in 2012. 3 years writing.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I request someone's Zan needs to get on? Can I request someone in the live stream take a step back, or because we're full up?
I would say kick Drybones because he's probably asleep now.
Drybones, okay. Going once.
He muted his shit, so.
Fuck you,
Twice.
Drybones.
Fuck you, Drybones.
So if I eject
Yeah,
someone,
the way how you get rid of someone is everyone has to just ignore him. Go to his picture,
No,
click
no.
on the...
no, don't do that. Don't do that. I have an eject option. Let me use
Oh,
that.
good. Robin
Yeah,
never
live
talks
hangout,
about
you can
that.
just eject someone.
All right. Sorry, Drybones.
He just can't come back in.
Get dunked, noob lord.
All right, Zan, come on. You got the link. Come on, come in.
Oh God, when Satan calls you a noob, what's left?
How many people are actually watching this stream? I mean,
Over 100.
We are currently at
130.
133.
okay, at least the 133 people are here, but
Oh, don't worry about it, mate. I mean, like after this.
We're trying to
stream,
spread the word.
This will go. This will go everywhere. Like,
We
this
got a
if they
guy
tune in
in
now,
chat who
they
wants
will
to
tune
play
in
with you.
later.
This dude, Rudy Ferretti, looks pretty cool.
Yeah, you got to remember we got 133 people just to randomly pop up and just.
Yeah, that's a fairly respectable numbers, though. I mean, Three Dogs GNR also got like around 100 at most, and that one is like five.
yeah, I think King of Pole really killed the whole streaming thing. I mean, fuck, man. What did King of Pole do?
Let's not talk about him.
Windows 8.
Talk about who?
Fucking
No.
hate Windows 8.
We're not talking about fucking Campbell.
I just had 3 blue screens out of nowhere, and I was working on like 3 different things. I fucking lost everything. I'm pissed.
Well-
You know, this is a brand new raid. Fuck Windows 8. Steve Ballmer can suck a dick. I will fucking suck Apple dick.
Why didn't you fucking install Windows 10? They're beta testing
Because
it
it's
with you
not.
guys.
It's fucking buggier than this. Have you tested the beta? It's worse than this right now, and this is pretty goddamn awful.
Well, it's like a real beta,
I'm
though.
done with Microsoft. I'm done with Microsoft. I'm done. I'm going all Linux. Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck everyone.
Microsoft does
You can always go to OXX.
Rockstar, your breathing is. I've noticed now that your breathing is coming on the stream. Could you just unmute yourself, or you're not talking?
Oh god.
Huh? What?
Yeah, I
You're
can
breathing
hear
into the mic wave.
All right. So
Move
like,
away from the
Oh,
mic
nuts.
to breathe in.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying don't breathe. I'm just saying mute when you're not talking. That's all.
Breathe in all the toxic fumes, why don't you? Because it's pretty fucking toxic out there right now.
At least
My
pull
fucking
your
God.
mic away from your mouth.
I don't know where to start on today's shit. I don't know where to start. Yeah, I can hear Rogue's breathing, but I really don't care.
Okay, Dan, what'd you have to say?
That's not my breathing, dude. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
All right,
It's
all
my
right.
penis.
Dude,
There's something in the background that's like a rumbling.
Let's go with that.
It's Brianna Wu's penis coming on Roguestar's mic.
What?
I wonder if
Probably the wind.
you think she keeps it in a jar, like on the shelf next to the book?
Yeah. You
All
gotta
right,
have
all
those
right. Dan,
five.
something to say. Come on, Zen.
That's not classy, but I still had a chuckle.
Where do I start? I don't know where to start. The events of the last 48 hours. Fuck Mood, by the way. I hope that you die in a fire. If I ever see you on the street, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. That's like I'm swinging on you, dog. Okay, just so you know. Yeah, I'll fucking swing on your ass, you piece of shit. I don't care what
Start with a threat.
I don't
Good
care
job
what the
there.
fuck you sold out for. I don't care who the fuck is leading on you. That's bullshit. You don't go back on your principles. That means that everything.
He's a cuck.
No. You know what? I know exactly who Mood is.
It's all bull. It's all bull. He went back on every single principle that he started out with in the beginning. Every single fucking thing. I don't care what the excuses are after the fact. I don't want to fucking hear it. Who can die in a fire?
So are you telling me that Moot has essentially gone full Vader?
Fuck
As in
yeah,
full
yes.
Darth Vader?
No, he hasn't gone Darth Vader. He went fucking Darth Sidious. He is the fucking Emperor.
He went Darth Vader. He betrayed all the principles he started off with. He was this young, idealistic young man that started something beautiful. He fell in love with somebody that corrupted them. He's Darth fucking Vader.
I gotta agree with the Lizard Man.
Bitch ass cuckold motherfucker. Gonna get wrecked. I swear to God. How we told it like it was.
I thought the site was hacked.
No, it's fucking Mood.
That's what I thought too. Like I thought, no, it must be hacked because his secure trip is being used. No. He just gave it out to people and said, "Fuck it, go shit post as me. I don't care." Little bitch.
Yep. It's over.
Like a 12-year trolling plan, and he always intended to do this eventually.
I mean, this is this whole thing. Like, why do you have to burn the house down on the way out? Just sell the site to Gawker and let them burn the house down. You don't have to be a fucking dick. Could have gone out with some class. Everything that WT Snacks said was right. He completely 100% validated. And if you don't know about that whole thing back in the beginning, then you don't know. He was right. He said this would happen. He said Moot was turning into a faggot, and nobody listened. And you know what? This is the future that we chose. But yeah, besides Moot, what the fuck? These script kiddies blowing the shit out of 8chan. I'm so pissed about that.
It's still happening. Like it just had another attack.
You can't handle the fact that we're proving you wrong. You can't handle the fact that we're leaking all your financial stuff, all your shady ties, all your financial connections. So what do? You go out and you hire a bunch of literal 15-year-olds to go and run doxes, who, by the way, their lives are over now. Whether they know it or not, they're all going to be arrested because people don't realize Hot Wheels and the 2chan admin both called the FBI already, and the FBI is already investigating it. So guess what, guys? Anybody who's doxing 8chan, or not doxing, anybody who's DOSing 8chan, have fun in jail. You're all going to jail.
You better be behind 7 proxies because the cyber police are coming for you.
Consequences will never be the same.
Consequences will never be the same.
Knocking on your door tomorrow morning. So have fun.
Jack traced it.
Justice was worth the 20-year prison sentence. I really hope it was worth it.
I
really hope it was.
Let's be honest. They're all gonna get charged as minors.
Yep.
Oh no, they get charged. No. You don't understand. The federal government in the U.S. has gotten really strict about this in the last few years. This is like the old days of the internet. You do something, you're gone. They charge you as a domestic.
Remember
terrorist.
David Schwartz?
Yeah, you'll be charged as a domestic terrorist for this. So have fun. Blowing the fuck out of a hopeless little Chan site. Like if you were just rating 4chan, like, okay, for the lulz, I don't even care if it's got preconceived political biases and it's not even an actual raid. It's bullshit. I don't even care. But, like, really, 2chan and 8chan, like, the fucking, just because of Gamergate documents? Really?
Yep.
Really? That's just, like, it's so stupid. The whole thing is so fucking stupid at this point. Like, I can't, it's making my eyes bleed. I'm going to have to take a break for, like, a couple weeks because after this, I can't take it anymore. And there's no coincidences here. If anybody's saying, oh, it's a coincidence that Moot did this today, oh, it's a coincidence that Tumblr happened to raid 4chan at exactly the same moment that Moot removed all protections from 4chan, oh, it's a coincidence, oh, it's a coincidence. No, it's not a fucking coincidence.
Oh, wait, I'm suspended, by the way. It's a coincidence when I did this operation and said December 7th.
Yeah.
It was also a coincidence when I did Operation Vox Populi when I exposed stuff and strategy about freaking, I don't know, Leigh Alexander attacking a previous advertiser on a site that had an advertising relationship with Intel. Oh, I don't know. It's all a freaking coincidence, dude.
Yep, we're not just crazy we're all just crazy conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, we all just got tinfoil hats.
This isn't totally like a whole plot by a fucking $80 billion industry or anything.
This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy. This is a multi-million-dollar fucking conspiracy.
It has to be.
Wait, multi-million? You mean multi-billion, right?
Nah, this is probably still in the millions. I mean, if you're talking about the AAAs buying off fucking video game awards so that they can sell more copies of Dragon Age, that's billions. I'll give you that one.
Well, not even that. I mean, you have to look at how they had They had a Steam sale for games that were nominated for awards.
Oh yeah, totally.
I still haven't gotten a response from Eric, by the way.
Blake, can you just give
I think my Tumblr is going to go next, guys.
Not just some random anonymous.
Okay, I'll go.
Why do you even have a Tumblr?
Because I like Tumblr, actually. I like the site layout.
Okay, honestly, Tumblr is like the best fucking porn site on the internet.
Yes, I will vouch for that.
What did I come back to? Jesus
I'll have to check it out.
I mean, I think fucking 8chan's a piece of shit. It's awful. All you guys there are a bunch of fucking faggots. Sometimes are funny, so I still go there, you assholes.
You're a faggot.
Fuck you.
Hey,
Sorry, I couldn't hear you or the sound of dick in my mouth.
Hey!
People. Hey, Satan. Hi.
Can I continue my rant? I had to shut up there for
Yes, let continue the rant.
Well, I'm already pissed off, right? Because like I lost a whole bunch of things I was working on, both for work and for Gamergate. I just lost like a bunch of shit. So oh well, I'll get it back eventually. But fucking no, like I'm beside myself. Like really attacking attacking 2chan. They're not even attacking 8chan. That's the thing. They're attacking the 2chan servers to get to 8chan. So you're blowing the fuck out of everybody from the 2chan community and all the sister sites just because you want to get to 8chan. And it's no coincidence that all of this is happening. Anybody
Wow,
that says,
and we're doing this on the eve and anniversary of the Japanese invasion of Pearl Harbor. They literally invaded Japan.
well,
You know what? We're gonna get the Japanese on our side now.
I would have loved that to happen. Fuck.
We can get
I'm thinking the Japanese were de facto on our side to begin with.
We're just gonna get a bunch of fucking kamikaze pilots to bomb the shit out of their houses.
No, the internet equivalent of kamikaze pilots bombing those houses would be Japanese nationals who live in Japan doing things that would be illegal in the U.S. but aren't illegal in Japan.
I can't get Firefox.
Like?
When Japan is as weird as they
Probably
are, have them on your side is a good thing. I don't know.
East sides everywhere. Oh my god, look, it's my body. My body's always late for the stream. I tweeted you like an hour ago, bro. You should have been in here. You done goofed. But anyway, no. The bottom line is that
behind 7 skeletons.
Oh my god. The bottom line of this is that the Pearl Harbor thing. Like honestly, the leaks were timed for December 7th. And part of that, a day which would live in infamy. That was done on purpose. I'll say that. But nobody had planned on this much shit being done to try and stop this from coming out. And I'm calling it right now. I will bet you anything that people from Gamergazi sponsored this thing, or at least encouraged these two script kiddie groups go out and do this. By the way, we're up to 2 now. The 2 groups are Able Gamer and Based Squad, as they call themselves. They're both Skype groups. Had the arrogance to go out and post with their real names on Twitter. So good, GG guys, enjoy the FBI. No proxies, nothing. So complete. That's the best you can do, really, Brianna Wu. That's the best you can do. That's the best you can do, Brianna. Really, that's the best you can do. You don't have enough coding experience to do it on yourself, so you got a bunch of people who launched a DDoS with rental botnets from Turkey while they were on Twitter posting under their real names about launching.
Same botnets, by the way.
I mean, don't forget, Brianna Wu had her parents give her $200,000 so she could start a business and learn how to run a fucking business.
And she has the gall to talk about privilege.
Yeah, well, I'll say one more
she,
thing.
quote unquote, she.
There's another bottom line. Yeah, Brianna was a guy.
There's a dick and fucking formaldehyde on the fucking bedside table.
Hold on, I got something to say.
It's a guy. That's not a woman. That's a guy. Like,
Hold on, let Block speak for a second.
Yeah, hey guys, by the way. So I'm mad at Brianna Wu, not because of all the extra stuff. That stuff I kind of ignore. Eventually, there's a threshold. It's the fact that I eventually want to start an animation business, that it really hurts to see people taking such opportunities and wasting them. You know, it's ridiculous. And then there's all these people, you know, supporting her, basically becoming these so-called free workers of a radical PR agency, basically. She's making money off of a lot of these people. It's really pissing me off how much of a rip-off that is. You know? People trying to astroturf our movement, people trying to astroturf basically everything we work for ethics. That's not fair. That's not fair, but in war, there's no fair. You know, there's no fairness. If they're going to try to define our work as their PR campaign, we'll define it back to ethics in no time. There's just, you know, we are going to keep it to ethics. We're going to keep it to everything that supports that. So.
Yeah.
Well said.
I'm gonna say one more thing. I'll hang out on the stream, but I'm not probably gonna talk very much anymore because I'm trying to get like all my ducks back in a row here. But basically, the bottom line of this now is that what you are witnessing is the beginning of the first internet world war. This is beyond a culture war now. It's beyond a consumer.
Can't wait for 2chan, dude. I want the Japanese in this.
Anymore. It's not even about Gamergate anymore. This is very simple. It's about internet authoritarianism again. They tried pushing this stuff with SOPA. They tried pushing it with people. They tried over and over and over again. They did not get what they wanted. So suddenly there's a video game controversy, and now it's like, okay, if we can't get away from the ethics violations, if we can't get away with attacking them, if we can't shut it down somehow, then we're just going to start DDoSing people until it gets shut down. And we don't care how many of our followers, how many kids, how many teenagers' minds that we corrupt and we manipulate into getting arrested in the process. We don't care how many lives we wreck in the process. We want this authoritarianism, and we're going to do it. So, Internet, if you hear this stream, stand up. It's not about Gamergate anymore. Everyone from Tumblr, everyone from Reddit, everyone from Facebook, if you would like to have your free speech continue on the Internet, stand up to these people. They are the activists who have been leading the charge to get rid of freedom of speech. It doesn't matter whether it's under the guise of feminism. It doesn't matter whether it's under the guise of social justice. That's not what they want. They want power. They don't want you to be able to speak out against their shit.
Zan, I have to stop you.
Dirty money going on in this stuff is just incredible.
Zan, don't make me mute you.
Sorry, I had to go off, man.
All right. When you that was well said, except for one thing. You kept on saying they, but you didn't say who they are. Who's they?
Context, please.
Yes.
Oh boy, who is they? Well, you can't even classify them as feminists or SJWs anymore. I'm getting tired of people saying that because that's not what they are. They're not even anti-humanists. They are pure and simple. They, people like Anita Sarkeesian, Brianna Wu, game developers who are, and I'm calling you out, devs, game developers who are on that list, who are corrupt, who are in collusion with the same little, it's a clique. That's what it is. It's very simply a clique, and the clique includes different people. It includes so-called journalists. It includes so-called academics.
Zan, I gotta stop you again. Like when you say
clique.
this,
You're getting really tin hat there, bruv.
Yeah, just a little bit tinfoily hat. I mean, like.
Not even.
A hug.
No, it's just a power clique. All they want is to have power over the gaming industry. That's all they want. It's an $80 billion industry, and right now these people are making all the money off of it. And they don't give a fuck.
I really honestly don't think the devs.
Hold on. I need to speak. There's threefold. There's three prong on this. One, the problem persists in two ways. You have people who are labeling It's a label game. I believe that there's a lot of label makers out there who are wanting to label people as such and that. It's a very complex problem, and I try not to label as to become the same people that I'm fighting. Number two, I'm actually a game developer. Surprise! Except I don't make money off of it. I do it as a hobby.
Good for you.
And it's very concerning to see that people are trying to form these so-called cliques in an indie industry. You have an indie portion of the industry. Indie means
Beyond that
independent.
now.
You don't need a group to be considered independent. Just
Right.
make a good game. Just make
Yeah,
a good
it's-
game. This is your personal application. If you want to go for the money and you want to go for the popularity, try to make a AAA company because that's part of their agenda.
I mean, that's all you got to do, really. But you know, it's just. When I say
I also
Alright,
have to.
I got time to step up. This
Oh,
one
it's
is
ridiculous. It's just
What's the
ridiculous. It's
Let
laughable.
Roguestar speak.
yeah. I gotta address 40 blocks here.
Pass the talking stick to Roguestar.
Yeah. if you're talking about just make a good game, that's not possible anymore, dude. You know, Brad Wardell just wanted to make a good game. Look at how much they fucking shit on him.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's
yeah,
almost
but-
becoming an idealism thing.
Yeah, we can't.
It's not almost. We're beyond that.
Yeah, we're
What's happening
beyond
is
to
that there's a
saying
group of
just.
people out there who has discovered that there are certain hot button insults that you can use against somebody that everybody thinks are the worst things that you can possibly do. And they wield these like bludgeons to bludgeon people into doing what they want. And these people congregate together because the more of them who act outraged at the use of these bludgeons. So every time they call you a misogynist, every time they call you a racist, all the rest of them all act up all together and throw a fucking shit fit. And there's a very small minority of people who gives a fuck about this.
Why is that a laughing matter, by the way? That is not a laughing matter, dude.
No, you don't understand. I'm not laughing.
No, this is McCarthyism. This is ancient. This is McCarthyism.
Because
This goes back to the fucking witch burning.
Okay, firstly, if Blocks laughs, that's just his style. He's not laughing at you. I mean, like,
Yeah, please,
Blocks
Rogue,
just-
please understand. I've spoken to you in the past. You understand.
no, it's-
I have a
it's
good head.
just-
It's just I laugh because it's either I'm going to laugh or I'm going to waste my energy not having, I'm going to be wasting my energy and I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be angry. I'm just going to let these people win. I laugh because I'm here to enjoy gaming and I'm here to curate the idea of having a good time in gaming and to not let these people ruin it. My
You're attacking
attitude
my
will stay
friends, and I'm
positive.
fucking pissed. And I'm not standing for it anymore.
Yeah, but I'm on that side too. I think I've passed the threshold of actually being angry about this. But to me, this is no longer about a laughing matter. It's not something I
No,
can
I
laugh.
understand.
It's I can't even get angry at it anymore.
I will agree
yeah,
with you.
but-
A
well, I
lot of
think
what
the
I
reason-
stated was bias, but it was a bias in a nature that represents mostly objective standpoints. I mean, I want to support people. I want to support Rogue for his gaming. I want to support people who want to have fun, and I certainly want to support people who have every right to speak about it, as both the creator, the curator. Well, the curator being the journalists, and then you have the consumers, and the consumers have every right to speak about these ethical issues, and they shouldn't be attacking people for specifics like personality being put into game projects. That's part of the indie culture. Rogue and these people are attacking these projects for their own ideals, and the sad part is they're winning in some cases. That's not right.
Can I just mention the fact that also at the same time that all this attacks against chans and stuff that's happening, for some reason they also attacked for affinity.
Oh yeah, I did see that. A lot of the people.
Oh
who
God,
presented
really
it
on the
were
same
fucking
day as the
talking about it there.
convention?
No. I'll tell you why that is. They were talking about it there. They didn't have like any specific Gamergate threads or anything, but it was a topic that was discussed there. Honestly discussed, and not just a hug box. That's why. So it's very, very clear what's going on here. Any place at all. And remember, Hole was having the Shekel show of threads that were still going after Gawker right up until yesterday, as a matter of fact. So, any place where this was still being discussed on the day of the leaked documents, of all of the big internal documents coming out, got blown the fuck out. And it's very clear. This is a war at this point. These people have demonstrated that they will do every single thing that they've accused us of doing, none of which we've done. They will dox us. They will harass us. They will send hate mobs to our houses. Death
Zan, I got to interrupt. Zan,
Well,
please.
all of that.
Zan, hold it. Let me have the floor for a second. Zan, when you use the word they, you have to specify who you're talking about. You just
I'm
say
not going to specify who I'm talking about. It should be painfully obvious by now that the whole Anita Sarkeesian crowd, the whole group of people.
We just say like the whole the XO. Okay, let's put a label on it just so we can be clear.
Yeah, you have
Yeah, the XO clique. Well,
Yeah,
let's just use
this is
that.
a public record stream, so you need to have names. We have a record. It
Yeah.
might be painfully obvious to us, but not everyone watching this in the future.
I can't go through and specify, who they is because
There's so
only-
many.
I think no.
We're talking about 4 people here. We've got a whole company. We've got fucking Silver Spring Media. We've got IndieCade. We've got all of these fucks.
That's who they.
You know what's interesting about this? This is exactly what people were thinking in World War I and World War II. They couldn't figure out who their enemies were. A lot of this propaganda was being
I know exactly
gaslit
who my
everywhere.
enemies were. They're tweeting that they want to fucking gas me on fucking Twitter.
Yeah, but do you know where they are? Do you know? Can you point their
Yeah,
identity?
I've got big fucking lists of them. They're all over the fucking wiki.
I know exactly where they are. I know where every single one of them lives. No, I know where they are.
But no, I think we want to put a label on it. I think
I really am. I'm considering that this is getting to the point where it should not be an internet thing anymore. It should be we should legitimately go out like the Ferguson protesters and protest at the conferences, at the conventions, at people's houses, whatever it takes. Fucking picket their houses. That's what was done during Occupy Wall Street. It was very effective.
John?
Yes.
Yeah,
If I would like to speak for a second. I think this is kind of trying to stay on topic here, Zan, because I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. I fail to rage at that level. I don't understand. It's probably just a component of my personality, though I do sympathize with you. Gaming conventions are a great place to voice physically in a location your concerns. That's a good idea. I like that, going to these conventions. However, it's going to take organization, and you're going to have a lot of people. You're going to have a lot of energy and chaos, and I respect the chaotic form in the back end of this movement and everything.
It's not a
going around
movement.
it.
It's just a bunch of pissed off consumers.
Stop calling it that. It's not a fucking.
You're dissatisfied with the product.
I'm gonna be. I'll be right back, guys. Knight is mod at the moment. I'll be right back.
Okay,
Just
please
try to
understand.
remain respectful.
I'm speaking respectfully and non-offensively. I respect the chaotic portion surrounding us, and I'm just hating a lot of people who are doing infighting policing and stuff like that. People are all here personally for their reasons. I respect that. I don't deny that everyone is here for some reason. And I've seen a lot of collaboration between a lot of the people in this very chat. And I just wanted to also thank y'all, but I also wanted to say that you can't control chaos, but you can certainly expose a lot of issues for these people to digest. HAN's, even though there's been a lot of weird stuff that's been happening with the Chan culture involvement, there's still a lot of things that they did for a lot of us that has helped us. You can't expect chaos to do what you can't predict it. But
I got a sentence for that one. You can't control the chaos. You only have to maneuver around it.
Yeah.
That's what the enemy does. They try to control the chaos all the time. That's why they fail miserably. They have to resort to a lot of black hat tactics, which is fucking cheap.
My conclusion, though, I had a conclusion that I wanted to say before y'all continue. Don't let the enemy define your goal. Don't let the enemy define your cause. You have already lost the war. If you do, you've already lost.
So stop calling it a movement because it's not.
I think.
No. Please don't attack me on that. I use words sometimes, not at the best, but still, I'm not calling, because I understand there's a different name to this chat room. I was coming in thinking that was a Gamergate discussion, but I can see now, so I'll go ahead and take correction to that. But if you understand what I'm coming from,
Yeah,
this
no,
this applies to more than just that.
No, I feel you. I understand, and I hear all of your points. And I just don't know at this point. You know, I don't know where we go from here. This is ridiculous. This should never have gotten to this point. Okay, all I wanted was to play my fucking video games. But I can't. No, I can't do that. I can't just play my video games and go to my chance. No, I can't do that because a whole bunch of people with ulterior motives and ulterior financial motives, more importantly, just want to basically say, no, you can't have that space because we want that space. And they talk about, oh, well, you know, gaming has, you know, misogyny, and gaming has all this dominance of this space. It's like, no, it doesn't. All we want is to play games. You know, it's the ultimate equalizer. And if you can't deal with the general public while you're doing that, then shut the fuck up. But that's not what this is about, and that's.
We can't have them taking over Kickstarter and Patreon. We really
everything.
sometimes need to cut publishers out of the equation to get new and unique original games. We can't have these people destroying reputations of crowdfunding services.
Oh yeah.
Okay, again.
Right. And like what happened? And like for an example, like what happens if Zan, shut up. What happens if in like 10 years, Gaben has a heart attack and dies, and then we have Steam up for sale? And what happens then?
Oh boy.
Your
there isn't
entire
an end to
Steam
this.
library. Just think about that.
Your entire Steam library will be replaced with Gone Home.
Please no.
That's the
No, like,
though.
like, did you guys see what I posted about the Steam broadcasting stuff, like the Steam streaming options?
I saw it. Yeah, it's already there. That's the future, and more so than that. And it's basically, you know, it's the whole. Somebody, I forget who it was. It might have been Christine. It might have been Miss Summers, but somebody compared this entire thing to a couple of different things that have happened in the past. One, back in the late '80s and early '90s, the whole Columbine fallout, where everybody was like, "Oh, music, all this metal music and this metal culture, it's so bad. It oppresses women. It encourages."
Well, and now we have metal supporting us, which is awesome.
The scariest thing about this is if you look
Disturbed is not metal. As a metalhead, I take great offense to that, but still, props to Disturbed.
Yeah,
if you look at what Christine Hoff Sommers has been writing about the hysteria in the 80s, about the fucking... Are we talking over each other again?
No.
No.
Satan has the floor.
If you look at what Christina Hoff Sommers wrote for Times about the 1983 nanny crisis, remember when everybody was pissed off and afraid that nannies were going to drop the babies and fucking shaken baby syndrome was everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
We seem to be combining that. We've got that with the rape crisis going on, and we've got the fucking video game violence shit also simultaneously going on, and they're bleeding into each other and making a new shitstorm of epic proportions.
Pretty much.
Like
And that's
the fucking streams.
Yeah, that's what I mean about it basically being an internet world war at this point. You know, because when they started, this is the thing. Why should perfectly good ideas, like, you know, the whole reason that I'm so upset tonight, and I apologize for biting out at people and for flying off the handle.
Oh, no problem.
The reason I'm upset is not so much the fact, you know, that they dox this, they dox that because, you know, either A, because of Gamergate. I mean, we don't know that yet, okay? First of all, we don't know that yet. We highly suspect that. It's more likely than not that's what happened. That the DDoSing and everything is the result of, and what's happening on 4chan is the direct result of more information being published, and the fact that they knew it was coming. That's all.
Wait, Sam, I need to interrupt you, please. You're using they again, and I just want to clarify. By they, I think at least you and I mean the whole XOXO clique and everyone based around that.
No. I'm being more specific now. Now I'm talking about Gamergazi. Because, by the way, most people don't realize Gamergazi has its own, besides just like the people on the forum, they have their own little internal cabal, and they go out and they try and manipulate things, and they try and do all kinds of things.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, like, Zoe Quinn is up in the IRC channel for Gazi.
So is Brianna Wu, and so is John McIntosh, and, you know, more people. And I have no proof yet that they are not just paying some of those people to be there. But I suspect it, especially McIntosh, because if you look at who his dad is, he has endless amounts of money to play with.
Oh
you
no,
know,
not just him, but what's his name? Shitlips. Shitlips.
Some of these people are being paid to do this. They're being paid to do this. They're not just
Yeah, like lip shits. He's the fucking dad. He's the fucking son of an Israeli fucking weapons runner.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously, it's obvious to me now at this point that some of these people, you know, some of the trolls that we come across, or the sort of, you know, mindless SGW drones are being paid to go out and create accounts in Signal Boost and do the same kind of things that we do of our own volition, but they're paying people to do it. I know for a fact that that's happening now. I wish I had the proof, and I'm working on getting the proof, but I know it's happening. They're that desperate.
Pay me to shitpost.
I mean, they're that desperate.
You get per shitpost. You get like 20 cents a
It's like
shitpost.
1 BTC.
No, I think they would probably get like $3 or $4 a shitpost.
Do they do this shit with like mechanicalturk.com?
No, they do it with TurkishBotnet.net.
There was a group not too many years ago that actually got paid, and no, like before people say, oh, it's the JDIF, it's the Jewish Internet Defense. No, I'm not talking about that. That's bullshit. But there was a group a few years ago that was like a Tumblr sponsored group that was, I think it was crowdfunded, and it was partially funded by some feminists, and I would have to go back and look this up. That would literally go to places like, you know, 4chan and Reddit, and, you know, Reddit when it was still good, because this was a long, long time ago. This was like.
Are you talking like 2008, like 2008 Reddit or something?
Yeah, they would go around and they would you know, shitpost and stuff and try to slide things, and they would get paid. They got paid in bitcoins for doing that. And I mean, so these things have existed in the past. So it wouldn't surprise me. But you know, the whole point here is that it should, none of this should ever have gotten to this point. And what pisses me off the most is the fact, like, oh, you're going to attack 8chan just because it's there. What about all the other merits of the whole idea of 8chan, of a place where people can create their own board? You know, what about all the other site devs, you know, that now, or people that might be thinking about making their own chans or their own sites that will now be scared to do so because it's like, oh, well, I mean, it's obvious that if we do that, if the SJW mob can't shut us down with legal and financial threats, they'll just send a docs mob after us.
How many times
did what about that?
Get taken down? 3 times they got hacked?
Something like that. But no, it's like 8chan has gone down 5 or 6 times today so far.
Yeah. I mean, I personally would not be concerned that people would be afraid to make boards on 8chan because of the anonymous culture, but I really, the DDoS frequency is kind of concerning. I'm not sure if they'll just die out or not.
I mean, it's going to be handled legally. Frederick is smart. He's got a lot of people backing him, and he's got 2chan. He's got all those people.
I mean, Frederick has not only does he have a lot of people, he has a lot of powerful people, like people that have a lot more skills than even us in this streamer have. So
yeah, but you know, I'm still very, very upset about the entire effect that this is having on the software community at large, especially the open source community.
You know, I'm as a person who wants to go into the programming industry, it's very concerning.
Yeah, it's bull. It's gone too far at this point. So you know, yeah, we are in a war now. If you had any doubts about this being a culture war, this is a culture war. It's basically, and by they, I'll specify a little bit more general. They is anybody who supports online censorship and authoritarianism. It doesn't matter what the reason is. It doesn't matter why they advocate for it. The bottom line is that is who they is.
Well, that's fair because you specified who you meant by that. That's my only problem with your
Internet authoritarians. Let's go with that. I'll do a little.
Okay, I'm on board with that. Yeah.
Authoritarians, period.
I actually created the term social authoritarians because they use your social constructs in order to assert their authority.
Yeah, that would encompass all these people starting crazy shitstorms around college campuses too.
That includes the right and left, because either side can become authoritarians, but they mostly use your social structures against you.
Yeah, fucking, it's awful though on college campuses right now. I mean, I go to school, I'm not going to say where because I want to try to remain somewhat anonymous in this, but I go to school somewhere in the Bible Belt, and thank God for that because the fucking crazy-ass right-wingers cancel out the crazy-ass left-wingers, making the place somewhat neutral, but man, some of my friends' schools are fucking awful when it comes to that.
Yeah, I know, I'm in the Bible Belt.
Okay, fun story time. Story time, guys. I live in the Pacific Northwest, near Vancouver, right? And when I went to college, I went to the women's center because there was like free resources there. Like there was like a coffee machine, so you get free coffee on campus, right? And I go there, and I'm accosted as soon as I get in there by a fucking 6'2" linebacker built tranny who is apparently the head of the women's center, and wants to is asking me why I'm not taking any gender studies classes.
Yeah, well, this is, at this point,
Can
it's
I
a cult.
just ask you something real fast?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to like tone police or anything when I say this, and if you want to use the word, feel free to. But training is carries some very negative connotations to it. If you didn't know, so
I'm well aware.
Oh, tone police. Oh. Tone police. My name's King of Pole. Tone police.
No, but fucking seriously, at this point, it's, you know, when I say it's a culture war, I don't mean just on the internet. This is the reason that this is happening is you have to look at the big picture of what's going on historically in the world and what's been going on for the last 20 years. You know, and not just in technology, but in the world in a general sense. That's why this is happening now. The timing had to be exactly right, and basically what happened is you had a group of people, you know, who had formed a clique behind the mantra of social justice in order to make obscene amounts of money despite having no other skills in their life. You have to understand that most of these people suck at programming, they suck at game development, and the reason that they do this is because they have literally no other skill. It is literal professional white knighting in the most outrageous, overblown, interconnected sense I've ever seen. And, you know, maybe the solution to this, to preventing this, would have been more government regulation. And I hate to say that. But I feel like at this point, the way in which these people exchange money, all this stuff that's been going on, none of it's regulated because it's such a new thing, and maybe the law didn't keep up. This is sort of like watching, you know, the Wall Street fat cats back in the late 80s and early 90s, all giving each other, you know, $80 billion bonuses and pats on the back because there was no financial regulation. And there still isn't, by the way. That's something else that needs to change. But, you know, maybe it's the same thing here, but I don't think that solves it. I think what solves it is people getting mad as hell and saying we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to.
No, like,
if the only way to play video games and the only way to have video games is if they're censored, authoritarian crap, and it's only what we, a specific group of people, say you can have, then fuck it, no more video games. We'll just be more productive with our time. I don't know if
I really need to interrupt you there because I really disagree that anything to do with it could be fucking government oversight. What we need more is better education. You look at what Based Mom is saying about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's these kids who are going to school now, who are being educated, quote unquote, by people far, far smarter than them. But these people are now unleashed ideologues who are stealing the shit.
If I may,
and the kids don't have the intelligence to stand up for themselves in their own thoughts.
That is the root of the problem is education. I mean, in a general sense. But what I sort of went general and I went back to specific, so my bad for that. But you know,
if I may, Roguestar, if you're still listening, please rejoin. I think the reason Roguestar left was because the conversation kind of went a little too broad here. We were supposed to focus on his big release. I did want to mention the 2chan and 4chan situations, but like now we're getting into government and education, and that's not.
You're right.
We can bring back to that conversation, but I just want to stay on topic, like at least.
Yeah, no. See if you can get him back. He may have just DC'd. I'm not sure, but see if you can get him back.
I don't know why he left, to be honest, but
he said he has a wait a while
I
ago.
can't.
So
before
if someone could just get in contact with Roguestar and ask them to come back on, share the link in the Hangout if you have it. That'll be fine.
Am I able to make one statement since everyone got their thing in on that? Yeah,
Go ahead.
There's someone from, I think it was before the open house died. Someone said, you know, you can have all the knowledge in the world and information. You can have a high IQ, but it's what you do with that information is where education really starts. It's where, you know, you're applying what you have and you're learning from that. To me, that's education. And that's a big problem with the way people are learning these days. So I just wanted to throw in that 2 cents.
Um,
Anyways, back to wonderful
yeah,
discussion.
I just I'm not going to talk about the big, picture stuff like, education or any of that. We're not going to get into that because there's no point in getting into it. The thing is, the reason that Gamergate has gone this far is because this is the beginning, I feel, of people in a more general sense standing up to all the bullshit that we see in everyday society at this point. People have been putting up with it and putting up with it, and okay, well, we need more civil liberties. Okay, well, if the only way to get civil liberties is to do X, according to
Zan.
Some people have been putting up with a lot of bullshit as a negative result of those kinds of campaigns. And I think people are just fed up with it. And it's like, no, we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to allow.
Yeah, there are a lot of people fed up, but this is not the time and the place. We need to get back to the digging.
Yeah, so back on topic. What's going on now? What have I missed since I fucking BSOD it 3 times?
When you joined up, we were digging through the Polytron documents and looking at who was getting money and exactly the amounts that they were getting.
And it was in the hundreds of thousands.
Are y'all doing that from the public?
Yep, it's all public docs.
Well, somebody get Rogue back in here. I'll be right back.
All right.
He said he had to go earlier. I think he's gone. He's idle on whatever this thing is.
Dan, get back on IRC if you hear this.
I will try.
Apparently, Roguestar just DM'd me. He actually fell asleep.
Okay.
I guess wait his ass back in here. Get his ass back in here. The digging must.
Tell him to get a cup of coffee and come back in.
No. Let him go. Let him go.
Right.
Let Roguestar sleep. He has had a big day.
Have a good night, Roguestar.
I will be your new Roguestar.
No one can do Roguestar like Roguestar. Anyway, about the documents, I haven't had a chance to read through it. I only skimmed through one of the documents so far. What's the most telling thing about this information that we've gotten? Like, what is the biggest implications of this?
I think one of the biggest things in here is actually from the IGF docs, which is in Shadow Indie Fund folder, file P19, which shows exactly who invested how much originally into Fez.
That's interesting.
It also comes with their profit share and voting right percentages.
Interesting.
And it comes to a total of $140,000 invested into Fez in this file.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of accumulations. And what kind of time frame did you say this was?
This probably goes back to like 2010 when this happened, or earlier.
Roguestar said it was starting at 2012 till now.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's go back to 2012 then.
The payment
This particular
information is
agreement
over
was
here.
signed in 2009, in November of 2009.
Okay, yeah, there you go. There, that's what I figured. I thought it was earlier.
That was the release date?
No, this is when this stuff was signed. Yeah.
So Fez was actually ready for release in 2008 and won an award at the IGF in 2008. Then, in 2009, is when all the Shadow Files documents were prepared and signed. And then, over the course of from 2009...
November 2009 is when this was all signed.
Okay.
Yeah, and then over the course of 2009 to 2012, they were just raking in money from all sorts of sources, that with the game completely unreleased, by the way. And then in 2012, they won another installation of the IGF, right? They were at least nominated in 2012.
Was this an early access kind of setup?
I don't know exactly that, but one thing I was looking at though, at least one of these groups, which would be Queasy Games, or no, sorry, Flashbang Studios LLC, they invested $2,500 for 1.79% of the shares. And that company on their website publicly states that they currently still work with IGF. So the company publicly states they are working with IGF while investing money to Fez.
Okay.
Zan, something confusing you said in the chat. How is Phil Fish irrelevant, considering that that his company? Someone wants to come in. Rudy, if you want to come in, just post your Twitter handle in the chat, and I'll follow you and send you a DM.
Well, during this small lull, I must announce that I have to be going. I've got a midterm tomorrow, and I need to get some sleep.
All right.
Okay, that's all right. Thanks for coming on.
Catch you later.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Have a good night.
I don't know.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, my handle is bangingout69. No, it's the real John Doe _ between Don Real and then Real and John Doe. All right, good night.
Also, if Todo's still listening, if he did want to say something, so if you want to come back in, you can. You have the link.
Yeah, anybody that wants to come back in. I'm sorry because I kind of butted my way in here, but yeah.
Who
Yeah,
the
you
fuck is
kinda
this
ran all the
Caroline
things.
Hale person in chat? This shill needs to get banned.
How do I
I don't even
ban
know. It doesn't even matter. But it's like Jesus Christ.
No. I'm not against freedom of discussion. If Caroline Hale wants to be a troll or a shill or whatever,
I'm not speaking
let
from
her.
a script. You think I'm speaking from a script? I mean, that's some kind of decent praise there for my oratory skills, I suppose. But frankly, you can choke to death on my ball sack.
Satan Chan, how many degrees and how old is your ball sack?
I'm not going to answer that. That's a personal question.
Wow.
Wait,
wow.
People cannot be trusted.
No. I want to read this. This is one of these kinds of shows. They are all leaving because they have been revealed. Why don't we just go back
Let's ignore any shill accusations and stuff. Let's get a bit more on topic.
Hilarious that people like that exist. I really do. And they exist on both sides, to be fair.
Well, I unless we can confirm that someone's a shill, let's not throw that accusation about. Like, if you have verifiable proof that someone is not great, but until then,
I'm not sure why this is a thing either. I should
don't get me wrong. There is evidence to suggest that there are shills in our camp, but there's no verified claim as such.
You know what? I don't care at this point. I don't care who a shill is and who isn't. I care about the fact that literally everything I like is being destroyed. That's a little bit more important to me than who is a shill.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be happy to invite her on in a little bit once we start
Wait. You have to remain level-headed. Yes, the world is shit at the moment, but you still have to remain level-headed through all this.
Yeah.
Believe me, I am focused like a laser right now. You can't believe how focused like a laser I am.
Anyways, guys, topic slide here. Anyways, so yeah, all these games, like a lot of these studios, rather, were all started back in 2003, like all within the same couple months.
Fun stuff.
So, what?
Like Flashbang, MetaNet, Queasy, App Above, Capybara, they were all started back in 2003.
Didn't we find out that Gamma Sutra and UMB is basically the same thing? I thought that was one of the other things. I don't know if was that released yet or not. I don't know. That was another thing.
No, UMB is the parent company of Karma Sutra.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so I think we might be getting a little ahead of some of the people that are in chat. The actual reason that this information is important is that a large number of people who either work for, vote in, or control the IGF, which is a games festival that runs once a year, have donated money to or invested money in Fez, a game that won 2 awards in 2 separate indicated IGF events. One of the awards that they won was in 2009, and then, very controversially, they were again nominated for a 2012 competition in the IGF, and they also won something in the 2012 competition. Now, people were very pissed off in 2012 that Fez was even nominated, and people were very interested in finding out exactly why Fez was nominated a second time. And now we know it's because a significant portion of the IGF controlling body had a financial investment in the success of Fez. And we've also had other information come out from past IGF winners and past IGF judges. There's a Team Meat interview, the team that did Super Meat Boy. If you Google that, you'll find a podcast in which the Team Meat folks, some of whom were judges and all of whom participated in the IGF and had one of their games voted on.
If you guys were pissed about the games journalists donating to people's Patreon, game developers' Patreons, these are game developers donating to other game developers to create a single project. These are competing developers.
Supposedly, they're supposed to be
cartel behavior.
It's
Yeah.
basically, here's a good example.
It's controlling
Imagine
the market.
Yeah, imagine it's the Oscars and the people who vote for Best Pictures were all producers for one of the films that were up for nomination. That's basically what happened.
Question. Isn't that kind of just like, thank you, Satan. Isn't that kind of just like how they have federal regulations, international trade regulations for spiking the prices of silver or gold?
This might even run afoul of those regulations.
It actually does run foul of those regulations.
If they're public shareholders, if you are manipulating stock prices, it's just as bad as hedge funding.
This isn't public, though. This is all private shareholders.
Okay, this is
The thing that we're worried about is collusion and manipulating of the results of the contest. We think that they're ripping off other independent developers.
Yeah.
This not only rips off the developers itself, it actually rips off the public's perception because it assumes that this has won or has deemed prestige based on honest merits. Even if it deserved it,
Well, Satan, wouldn't you agree that they're ripping off the consumer?
No, they're also ripping off the other people who enter the contest because it's rigged. Because as Roadstar said, it costs like 90 to 100.
It basically rips off everybody. In the industry, it rips off the industry, it rips off the consumer, it rips off everybody involved.
There's no winners except for the people with money in the game in this.
Yeah, it takes money to make money, but it takes corruption to make corruption worse.
Yeah,
I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway. No, I agree with you completely. They're parasitical. This is an issue. This is definitely an issue. This is issues that also persist in other industries, but this is our industry right now that's having this issue. And we need a clean house.
Exactly.
Clean house is an understatement.
We've got a family of rats in the backyard, and they need to go.
We're like gigantic possums on steroids.
I think this is
and a couple of bears. You got a couple of absolute fucking grizzly bears back there too. I think you might want to shoot them.
They're just sitting on your lawn chairs, using your grill. They're like, "Hey, this is my place.
Come outside so I can eat you. Come outside. Come out of the house. Come out of the house. I'll eat you." Wow.
I can see Yogi Bear and his little friend just chilling out.
That.
Hey, Boo Boo, that's a very nice Indiecade you got there. I think I'll take some of the money.
Yeah, I think
something happened to it.
I think this is the only time
I think I'll take your funding.
This is the only time I can consider it inappropriate for me to be family friendly on this stream.
I'm not family friendly at all. I say everything.
I'm not either. I'm around family, and I just it's just.
Oh, you are around family. Ooh, okay. Okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm completely different, but hey, that's cool. It's respect. Respect extends ethics, something that these people don't have.
Well, a little bit of breaking news. So a bunch of people at NeoGAF apparently did a brigade campaign to get one of the new characters in Tekken, Lucy Clo, pulled from Western release. So no Lucy Clo for United States or any Western nation players of the new Tekken game.
But remember, they're not trying to take your video games away.
Yeah, we're not trying to take your video games away. Pay no attention to the financial connections in the basement. Pay no attention to all the shady dealings going on. We're not trying to do anything. Yeah. I think my mic is like fucking
Yeah,
up.
that's fucking awesome. Look at those headphones. I want those. What the fuck? They took this character out? Let me link you guys to this fucking thing. This is pissing me right off.
By the way, everybody should be sending this information out associated with the financial details and all that kind of stuff, not just to the FTC, but all those federal those federal run governments who actually are in control of the law associated with this stuff, but also to any news organizations or any connections in news organizations that you may have.
Dude, that guy's avatar is fucking awesome. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, no, my mic is kind of starting to fuck up. Is it getting quieter at all? Because I've been playing with the levels and it like says I'm not. Like if I'm leaning up to my screen right now. If I lean back at all,
I hear you loud and clear.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah,
you
you
don't have to
sound
change
fine.
anything.
As long as we're running mic checks.
All right, so how about now? Is it
I
good?
hear you.
Yeah, there you go. What's up, man?
Thanks, Satan.
Just topping in.
How you doing?
The shadow man.
Exhausted. Just dealing with all this 8chan shit. Constantly going down. Laughing at the happenings of a child getting his ass handed to him by a bunch of neckbeards in their basement. Some guy taking a shit on his house. It's pretty good.
One moment. Rudy, please turn off your camera.
Yeah, sure. Hang on.
Move your mouse. There you go.
Guys,
welcome
Is it still
back
not
to
turned off?
Rudy, move your mouse up to the top of the screen. There's the camera button. Press it, and it should go red. And then, okay, you're good.
You're good.
Okay.
Powers, you were saying?
Oh, no, I'm just here to enjoy the ride.
The ride never ends. We also have Satan. Satan, say
It's
hi.
good to have you.
Oh,
We have Satan and Christ on our side at this point, so.
We have the Dark Lord, the new King of Pole, and IA all in one battle hand. And
I'm
you
a
have
big Bayonetta fan, and this thing has really pissed me off. I just can't stand the Dragon Age 1. I can't stand it.
Come on, it's a good game, okay? Bazinga.
No Bayonetta.
Come on.
No, I got
It's fine.
Why don't you look up how many? This is something that me and Jessica have actually been working on. Because there was a separate operation going on over the past few days called OpGG Slam, where we've been trying to figure out all of the financial connections of the people who were on the jury board for the BGA awards. Of course, the board was completely rigged. We very quickly found out that they all have a conflict of interest. Most of them hated Bayonetta and publicly made comments against it in the months before the award show. Even before Dragon Age was announced as being nominated, they were making comments hating on Bayonetta. But besides that, another fun exercise is now that we have the indie game dev list that was released via Solution 6, why don't we see how many of the people on that list have direct connections, financially and otherwise, to the jury people of the BGA Awards? And it'll be definitely interesting because the BGA jurors are the same as they were last year. Go ahead.
When Steam set up this sale for the winners of this competition, this contest, the Video Game Awards, they set it up so that any game that won or that placed in a category would be able to get a discount on Steam. They would have a sale on it, right? And you know what game's not on Steam? Fucking Bayonetta. So obviously it can't win the grand prize, right? Because all this shit is fucking planned in advance.
So immediately, the developers of Bayonetta and Kojima Studios are already on the out and outs, basically, because they cannot.
They wouldn't even let them into the after party.
Yeah, even if they win, they cannot. Well, Jeff Keighley had the guy out to his house to try and fix the PR damage that was done by that. But I mean, still, it's like really. But the bottom line is that even if they had one, they can't. They don't get a special sale. They don't get a special branding sale. I mean, this is the other thing. The way that these award shows are done as a whole, the entire model is ridiculous. It was modeled after the Academy Awards or whatever, and it's a bogus model for gaming. It just does not work.
It's a publicity competition with competition in fucking finger quotes.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
I never really thought people took the VGAs seriously after last year.
They didn't, but this was supposed to be a fix. They were supposed to fix it for this year. That's why Spike stopped running it, and the Doritos folk took it over.
Yeah, and even then, it still had tremendously low viewership. But I mean, the point is that it's not, and this has come up in a couple other streams. It's like, oh, nobody takes it seriously, so why is it an issue? It's an issue because the branding matters. Like, look at the Steam sale. Look at things like that. Being able to slap Game of the Year on stuff, you get Game of the Year edition, releases of games, special packages, special sales that increase both the visibility and the number of people buying it. And again, the money is what controls the content for developers. If it doesn't make money, it's not going to be developed. So this is the vicious circle in this thing. Everything matters, especially even award shows that are circle jerky and back scratchy. These things do matter because of the branding. The branding directly affects what kind of content you get. So people sit there, scratching their ass, like, oh my gosh, I don't understand why all the games are suddenly getting all this social justice content. Nobody asked for this. Why can't I just play video games? It's like, that's why. Because it's the vicious circle. You have to attack this thing from all the angles. You can't just say, oh, well, that, we can't do anything about that. No, we can do something about it. It already got blown the fuck out of mainstream TV. It needs
If we're
to just
already
go away
here, we
entirely.
might as well do it.
Why is there still an award show? Why is there still a Game of the Year award show at all? If we're just going to stack the judges and we're not even going to set up the categories fairly, and the content of the show is going to be, halfway shit half the time, and half the viewers of the previous year saw it. Why does it even exist? Why do we need something like this? Why do we need to have game sales based on? Why do we need any of this shit? We don't. We don't need it. Get rid of it.
Well, the fact that Shadow of Mordor was one of the nominees should have told you a lot about the quality of content.
Yeah. I mean,
The
I'm not
problem
going
with
to get specific.
social media, ever since it started, is people are self-proclaiming themselves and making up stories of things they've never done, accomplishments they've never accomplished, and then putting down others for their own agenda, like Ania Sarkeesian, Patrick Scott Patterson, Pat Despera. The list fucking goes on.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
right. It's a world war. It's a world fucking war on the internet, and all this controversy with video gaming. It's a fucking joke. I mean, I'm on your guys' side 100%.
Rudy?
You're not one of those Cat Despera guys, are you?
No.
All right. Because there's people on her dick really hard about some random shit that she did one time that doesn't fucking matter. I mean, she's pretty rabidly anti-Gamergate, and I had some conversation with her on Facebook about it. And then she was perfectly nice throughout all that, and then fucking talked behind my back.
Just trust me about her, and do not believe a word she says. She will lure you in, make you think she's a good person.
She's pretty
on your
fucking two-faced.
Yeah, she's the most biggest two-faced cunt in the fucking world. Yeah. And I know, because I have personal experiences with her, not just on Facebook. I've met the cunt in person. She's fucking against all of us, dude. That's all I'm going to say to that. I mean, I don't want
This
to...
shit goes into traditional games, it goes into classical games. The people that do they track what scores you get in fucking Donkey Kong and shit. This is all over that, and it has been for 10 years.
Yeah, but she's not. She's anti all of it, and then she's on both sides, bro. She makes you think she's with us, but she's not, and then she's on the other side as well. She's a two-faced piece of shit. She lies about everything.
What are you talking about?
Cat Despera. She's committed plagiarism, falsified.
Remember that Donkey Kong thing, the King of Kong documentary?
Yeah, I know every single one of those asshole cunts that was in that movie too. Every single one of them.
This shit started pretty early back there, and they had their own little mini freak out in the classics community about feminism.
That's what started this whole fucking thing. Ever since King of Kong, that's why we're where we are. Why do you think this shit is happening? This Ania Sarkeesian shit and everything else. Patrick Scott Patterson and Cat Despera caused all this shit. Literally.
Whoa. Hold on. Could you explain that in detail?
Well, basically, these two motherfuckers came in when King of Kong started in 2006. They were nobodies before. They're nobodies now. They make up stories of everything they've ever done or said. Nothing they've ever done or said is true. They can't prove anything they say or do. Then when they make a mistake, they can do no wrong. They're the most narcissistic, two-faced, fucking Madam Butterfly using little motherfuckers in the fucking gaming industry.
And when you say they, you mean Famous Frequency?
Oh, dude, I mean, just everything. In other words, they go with only what's popular. They will take you and be on your side for 5 seconds and then drop you if it doesn't benefit them.
Again, please, for the record, who is they? You have to be specific.
I just said Patrick Scott Patterson.
All right. Gotcha. Sorry, I may have not been paying attention. My apologies.
Those are the only two people I'm talking about right now.
This is something that I was aware of when it was happening, but I'm not too big into the classics community, so I didn't want to weigh in myself. But we could definitely use like a Medium post or something that documents, in brief, and gives a little connection between the feminist stuff that happened in the classics community and Gamergate, because nobody really knows about that link.
It's all over the internet, guys. If you just type my first and last name anywhere, you can find all kinds of shit on these two assholes of things they've said that they deny that they said, and the stalking they do and everything else. I mean, it's all out there. And there's a documentary coming called Revelations at the end of the month.
Who's
Who's they in this case?
You also give your full name so people can look it up.
Rudy J. Ferretti.
Okay, Rudy, that's Ferretti.
Yes.
Okay. And then who are the they? Is it those two from before? Or?
Like, if you want to speak in generalities, that's fine. I just need to know who they are, because they can mean anything.
Yeah, we have to be
Well, I mean, I
specific.
said the names. I said the names several times. I mean, I can keep saying the names. I don't have a problem with that. It's your chat,
Yeah,
whatever you want.
Yeah, if you can keep saying the names.
Absolutely. Patrick Scott Patterson, Pat Despira.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the stuff about them started a while ago, and the
all
classics
started-
community is much more rabid. They're pretty intense. So the stuff out there about this particular scandal is a little bit tinfoil hatty. Just put your tinfoil hat on, read that, and there's a grain of truth to it. It's a little exaggerated.
Yeah, it's actually the opposite. But again, we can disagree on things. There's no problem with that. I'm not the kind of person that, like them, if you disagree with them, you're out. They don't talk to you. Me, I look at it, hey, you can't agree on everything. We're not going to, believe everything everybody says. The bottom line is, don't trust what I say. Look for yourself. Educate yourself. Don't believe what I say. Say, you know what? I'm not going to listen to what Rudy says, but I'll look into it. And then when you find out, you'll be like, holy shit, Rudy was telling the truth. That's all. It doesn't matter. I don't get offended.
There's a pattern of this behavior, though. It's slowly hitting every segment of video games. Like, no matter how niche and segmented you think you are, they'll get in. Just to fuck with you.
It's everywhere, and it's not just video games. It's life. It's in the schools now. I think that Jessica mentioned it in the chat. Tato, you need to fix your feedback. Jessica mentioned it in the chat before she left, but one of the things she pointed out is that they're now trying to promote Common Core video games in schools, which are basically games that promote many of the aspects of Common Core. Well, for those of you that don't know, Common Core is loaded with social justice. They try to inject it even into science and math. So this is the thing. This is seeping into everything, and now they're even trying to use video games as a vehicle to support this stuff. And of course, Common Core video games are supported primarily, and including the idea for them, is none other than Anita Sarkeesian's. So I mean,
Blocks, you wanted to say something?
I'm really starting to like the idea of homeschooling my future children, or at least until they get the age of reason. But
I couldn't bear to bring another soul into this world at this point. It's too dark and twisted and fucked up. Like, until the world gets
agree.
There's a problem when Jesus and Satan are agreeing on the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a problem somewhere.
We don't have anything against each other. We operate in our own segment of the world, and
Even these guys can segregate.
we don't really
These guys can segregate their opinions most of the time, except for the Old Testament. But that's another story. But it's a problem when you try to merge core facilities of society with ideology. It's very scary. It's almost eugenics level. It's not tinfoil hatty. I can't say that. It bothers me because people tend to put that on a shelf when you say that. I really feel it's a more serious problem. It needs to be addressed as a reality focus.
Yeah, I agree.
And if they're trying to taint games to their format of ideology, it's scary. I mean, it's basically another way. It's like this generation's form of book burning. It really is. You're burning.
Oh, they literally burned books. Oh no, you don't know. They've had little get-togethers.
They burned Christina Hoff Sommers' book. They actually held a book and burned her book.
They burned those. They burned, some of the popular pundit books, like I don't know what Mark Levin's latest book is. They burned some of those. They burned the Michael Savage book. But I mean, no, they have been burning books, and that's. I mean, this is the literal problem. It doesn't matter, how extreme a book is or something. Like, you shouldn't. This is the very literal sense of book burning, as it was illustrated in Fahrenheit 451 and books like that. And in stories like that, it didn't matter. The point wasn't what the content of the books was or how extreme they might be. The point was to learn from those things as an experience. When you start burning books, you lose the ability to learn from things, whether they're extreme in one direction, whether they're right or wrong. People lose that ability. And without that ability to educate themselves, they lose the ability to be objective. And that is exactly what's happening. And then they believe whatever the loudest voice in the room tells them. And that is exactly what's happening. That is the dangerous, dangerous march that Western culture as a whole is having. This march towards an Orwellian.
Here's the thing. People who have no knowledge of something have to assume to some degree before they can conclude. I feel that a lot of the problems that we are facing extend from the human's ability to cope without logic, or cope without objective information. It's almost instinctual at that point. You might as well say that these certain types of figures are abusing the instinct mechanism.
It's a simple formula. Marxism, feminism, and what do you call it? Marxism, feminism, and narcissism is like at an all-time high. Ever since 2010 has hit.
And this is my field of expertise as far as what part of the human spectrum they're trying to manipulate. They are taking the very core of what it is you are. This is the core of what every person is. This is the core of why fallacies exist and how useful they are. They take these fallacies and they use them as tools to control the masses. And fallacies exist to be known about and need to be studied, because you need to know when people are using this against you for manipulated purposes. That's why marketing works so well. That's why everything that they try works very well.
That's the power of Pineball.
Are you suggesting that because
marketing, that's fine, but be honest about it. Don't fucking do something that's not legit and pretend to be something you're not. Be who the fuck you are, and I'm cool with marketing and promoting yourself, but when you're a fake...
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fallacies. The fallacy, when you use it, is not an inherent argument. When you're using a fallacy to manipulate people, which is most of the fallacies they use are appeals to emotion or appeals to ad populum, which is what they're trying to do when they say, "Oh, you're misogynist." They're trying to appeal to the populace to get people to bring down that you're wrong for being a misogynist, that they, without even declaiming evidence.
Exactly. Just go type in. Just go type in yourself right now, Cat the Spirit, and you can find all the bullshit she's written, and then how she goes back on it and pretends like she never wrote it or tries to delete it. But I'm smarter than her. I copy it all and fucking repost it.
Rudy, are you suggesting that because somebody thinks that they are Batman fighting the good fight, that they're a narcissist?
There's no good fight. There's no good fight when you're fighting good people and making up stories that are not true, calling people misogynists, and then they're a misogynist themselves, or calling you sexist, and then they're a sexist themselves. You know what I mean?
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing I have to say about this, and don't take this offensively. However, I believe that there are no such things as heroes or villains. I believe in the convenient villain, whereas people have their own personal agendas, and everyone has it. You know, some people are just simply here because their idea is we want to make sure our games are still here by the end of the day. That's still a thing. And these people in journalism have their agendas as well, and unfortunately truth is no longer that sustenance that gets people to read their crap and their clickbait and whatnot. So, journalism in a general sense has an issue.
Guys, but I won't put up with that shit. I'll destroy people that do shit like that, and I continue to do so every day.
Whoa. Destroying people like that, that's a very
strong
interpretive
statement. I'm just being real. I'm not going to be something I'm not, and you hopefully, even if you don't agree with that, you can appreciate the fact that I'm forward instead of bullshit.
I appreciate your diversity. I appreciate your opinion. And the fact that I can get another perspective on a situation means I'm not only learning more, but I'm learning more about my own argument. I'm learning more about my opinion, my diversity in this situation. And that plays a huge role in the consumer base and the ability to innovate in an industry.
Right.
People don't understand that. They just want to echo their thought without giving it any bit of question whatsoever. And I'm not talking about a simple question. I'm talking about tearing down your very argument to its knees to be able to understand why you're arguing that specific argument. It's a very important thing.
I've done that, but they don't. Those two people don't.
no.
Patrick Scott Patterson, Cat
You're not going
Spirit.
to be
They
able
don't.
to
They
make
can go
them.
wrong.
Most of these people will not be able to do this in their lifetime. No, I don't agree
Well,
that.
we need to get
I
the
don't
fuck
agree.
out of the scene. They don't belong here.
Yeah.
They don't play. They don't know nothing about games. They know nothing about nothing.
Here's the thing, I'm getting a little mad that people are re-including them. I like the literally who concept. I don't like the fact that people are reintroducing them, constantly saturating my feed with pictures of these people. It's almost as if people are working themselves as free workers for some kind of radical PR campaign, because unfortunately the more exposure these people get, the more money they make off of our suffering that they are
Exactly.
I don't
Well,
want
at
to
least
be a free worker for a PR campaign that I don't even want to be around. I'm here for ethics.
Exactly. Like,
you
right.
have
You
the
don't want to
ability to
sit home
find.
while your wife goes out and works, and you can't even take care of your own family and collect 10 grand a year on social media,
Here's the thing. You have the power to define the very words you use. Unfortunately, you have Webster's and you have objective things in the world that people will interpret to. People have their own specific definitions. We have every right now to define the moon. Sorry, I'm not going to say it. That was close. I don't want to trigger anybody in here. I'm just
Okay.
using my words. People who, this is our thing. This is our gig. We have every right to define it. If they're going to try to define this for us, we have every right to define it right back to ethics. There's, and this is a problem. I understand shit posting. I love it. It's entertaining, but I will not put that on this tag because I believe that that's
I only
giving
go
them
after
PR
people that
campaign.
have affected me personally. I don't go after just anybody.
Yeah.
Now, has Ania Sarkeesian affected me? No, but the reason I go after it is because the two assholes that I'm going after support the bitch. So fuck them.
No, I'll agree with you
There's
wholeheartedly.
a difference. There's a difference between focusing on what they do versus focusing on what they say. They could say whatever they wish. Words are cheap. Words can be spewed.
But people believe it. People are
no,
stupid.
hold the fuck on. People can spew a billion different words every single second of every day. Do it all the time on Twitter. The problem is that while we focus on what they are saying, they are moving the fuck on. They are heading on into doing these fears, and we may not pay attention to that. We may miss it. We may miss something that comes about that they've actually done.
Mm-hmm.
That they've actually held seminars with the AAA industry, that they've actually interfered with the AAA industry. I saw that in my feed for a couple of minutes, and then it got flooded out by their quotes.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Well, you guys were focusing on Cat Despira and her little fucking drama queen fest. Those people were pushing feminists into fucking positions of power in the, what do you call it? What's that thing that Sargon is all up in arms about? Digra, yeah. And we lost Digra to these fucking people, and then they started fucking putting Anita Sarkeesians up on Kickstarter. I mean, we could have stopped this a long time ago.
I don't know if I can say yes or no to that. I can tell you this: the Cat Spira goes with whatever it is, and she's been putting down men and putting down the fucking community for over 10 years. Okay, and we all got sick of it and caught on to her, and fucking now we attack her, and she gets everything she deserves.
Is she influencing any bit? I'm speaking.
Unfortunately, yes. There's a lot of people in our industry. A big fucking chunk, if not 90% of the industry, are dumb fucking people. I've said this before on my show. I'm saying it here.
Here's the thing.
We're dumb and retarded. Too many of us just believe anything.
Hold on. I did actually have a huge, like, I seriously sat down for 4 hours with somebody in person discussing this, and they were very new to Gamergate, but they were very old in the sense of business. And one of the great things that he had said is that vast majority of the investors and the stockholders in these public owned companies, which is not many of them in Gamergate, there's private ones too, but they don't really care about the actual ethics. They don't care about the actual industry. They're just there to make their buck, and as long as they're getting their income, or the company that they're investing in is stable or rising, that's it. That's really, it's a stark truth, but it's truth, and it needs to be known. These people really don't care about the industry. They're there for their money. And that's shown some light on me. We're constantly going to these advertisers. We're constantly going to these people who are actually giving money to these companies. And now I agree that things like Intel being pulled and things like that's really interesting. I like that. That's a very positive approach. Is to email your concern as a consumer. But hitting the money where it really hurts is the task at hand. Because once those numbers plummet, you're going to have a lot more than just people concerned about the industry getting their hands involved.
Well, you have to understand something, too. Being a professional gamer for many years, got paid a couple of times, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be calling myself a pro. But missing out on certain opportunities due to these assholes being involved with the organizations that did this record keeping and everything else, writing falsified articles, basically sandbagging me with scores, things like that. When it affects you fucking personally, it becomes a problem. And when you call them out and you prove their wrongdoings and nothing gets fucking done about it, you've got to fight for yourself.
Exactly.
It's not, it's not exaggeration. You can find out yourself. Only an idiot won't be able to find out the truth about these people. And that's 90% of the community.
The problem is the dependency. You need to own it up to yourself as a consumer. You have every right and responsibility, but it's there for that simple reason. The consumer base needs to moderate the curators.
Well, yeah, I know. I told Jace Hall, the new owner of Twin Galaxy.
I'm not saying you are not. I'm just saying that is the thing. That is the big push in Gamergate. Is we had a huge surge in consumer awareness that is dealing with curator corruption and developer corruption too. But I think more of it's curator.
I think most of it's from the fucking writers and journalists is the problem.
Yes, exactly. The curators are becoming less of a need. It's no longer becoming a pyramid model or an inverse pyramid.
Let me just ask you a straight-out question.
Yeah,
you seem very intelligent from the way you speak. So let me ask you. Pretend you're a female for a minute, okay? And
let me cut myself.
And you got a fucking you got a score. Well, no, just whatever, You got a score 30 years ago. You were the last arcade woman in 30 years to get a fucking score, right? And 5 years later, right, somebody comes along and gets the first arcade score in 30 years. First of all, it's only been 5 years. You've had the record for 5 years. So somebody came along 5 years later and somebody writes a fucking article taking away from you that they're the first person in 30 years, falsifying the information, not including you to be the last person on top of it in the last 5 years. I'm just giving you an example here. And, and then saying, oh, we made a mistake. But they consider themselves experts. They call themselves historians. They fucking cheated the system. They've sandbagged players. They've, wrote falsified articles. They've done everything they could to push these people down. How would you feel as that person if you're not getting paid, even if you've been paid in the past and all you have left is pride? I think it would affect you.
The background for this is that when you get a really high score in an old arcade game, a classic arcade game, you can get your name published in books of record holders and shit. And you can get royalties on that.
Yeah, you can get royalties on your name being used, especially during publication process. That's an age-old thing.
And though, if you're fucking sandbagged by the assholes that are running it, like Patrick and Kat were at one time, directly involved, doing wrongdoings, evil things that got Guinness taken away from Twin Galaxies, which I can prove.
If video game records of this type are no longer in the Guinness Book of World Records as a direct result of the controversy he's talking about.
Yeah, he's right. We're trying to get Guinness back, but I don't think Twin Galaxies will be able to do it. But Jace Hall says he can.
No, Guinness is they like being safe. They're like any other company. They like to play it safe.
But my
and it's a
point
double-edged
is,
sword. But
wrong for that to happen to anybody. I could care less if shit was being done to me wrong, if I'm getting paid like I'm supposed to be and getting taken care of with royalties. But since I'm not, all I had was pride. And when it was taken away from me, yes, I'm going to go directly after these motherfuckers.
you know, and here's the thing with the pride, it's not a yes or no. It's a very complex soup of feelings and background, culture, and all that sort of stuff. I agree with you that when you take away somebody's earned rights to be notified in something, hell yeah. If somebody's making money off of the fact that their information is wrong in the first place, that should already be a problem, regardless if you're female or not. There is no reason for that. There is no excuses in a professional environment. No, here's the thing. I believe in apology. I believe in editorial editing. I believe in editor editing. I believe in journalistic editing because nobody's perfect. The fact that we're not perfect only allows us to have more insight into ourselves, a little philosophy moment, and just, generalizing, there's always room for improvement. I believe that. But if someone is going to be arrogant about it, that's when they really screw up, and I cannot.
That's the point I'm trying to make really quick. You just said, right, there's room for error. I get that. But what about when you confront the fucking person, they're not willing to edit it, they don't edit it, they don't apologize, and they make it like...
Find their boss, find their workers, find their people supporting them. Hey, by the way, this guy...
We're dealing with organized smear campaigns against individuals here. These people get into positions of power over websites, magazines, you name it, and then they launch organized smear campaigns against the one person that has had it.
I know Satan. With all the people that suffered in your wrath over, eons, I'm being serious
now. That's a popular misconception. If you look in the fucking Old Testament and do a tally of the millions of fucking people that God has killed,
way more,
I've never directly killed one single person. This is the same shit that you see on Twitter. People all attributing everything that everybody evil does in the name of some organization. Just because some fucking serial killer goes out and murders 12 prostitutes doesn't mean it was my fault.
Is Jesus
because he wrote Hell Satan on a fucking...
I want the Satan Internet Defense Force to go.
Is God going to be like, hey, you didn't give the right credit?
Let me ask you, why doesn't he stop it if he cares so much about this fucking shit? I don't give a fuck.
I was just trying to add a joke in while I say something. Let me get back on topic.
I'm sorry, it's a hot button issue for me.
Gotcha. I understand, Satan. We understand your feels, man.
I just want to play fucking Mario Kart.
Me too.
The fun part is that we could all be playing video games, but these people pulled us away from video games to do this shit. And the fun part is that we could obviously
be bad consumers and ignore them, but we are here because we actually care. We have enough. We have enough of an urgency to put our personal lives aside to speak to other people that this is a very important thing affecting the very industry that consumes our daily ignorance of society problems and what have you. This is our way to get away. This is our entertainment. Some people, this is their lives and their very careers. The very thing that they get paid for every day to support their family or to support themselves or their Twinkie Foundation. I don't care. This is a survival thing. This is what I was going to when I was talking about people dying. It seems like these very people who compete get up in these ranks and just smear people. They seem to forget this. They're so isolated in their mindset, so isolated by the very funds that they live off of, that they fail to recognize that we are still trying to survive.
Anyway, let's get this train back on track. We're talking about feelings a little bit too much here. Let's talk about happenings.
I'm talking about survival and how it plays a role in actually being ethical.
Yes, what exactly is Operation Skynet? I've been out of the loop for quite a while here. Just keeping up with other
Sorry about the feels, guys. I was trying to keep it far away from that.
Alright, I'll explain what Skynet is. Operation Skynet is essentially a tool used for spreading information. The goal is you follow everyone using the hashtag. 2, you retweet pretty much everything that's important in the hashtag, so long as it's shit posting or irrelevant garbage. 3, you retweet, you try to get as many people following you and follow back, etc., etc. The best way to use Operation Skynet is with TweetDeck. If you're going to use your basic Twitter feed, it's not going to work. You're just going to get flooded with useless posts, and people are just going to go on about that. But
you can also use lists. There's some people that have made public Operation Skynet lists, and they put everybody who posted in that particular tag on their list.
Can I speak to you for a second, John? I think this is
go ahead.
important since you've officially validated for my reason for saying this. You remember me doing my analytics. By the way, guys, I've been doing data mining for Twitter. Well, with Twitter, not for them, obviously. I noticed that the Block Together, which is the service that FreeBSD Girl is using for her GG Auto Blocker, displays more than the numerical representation of the Twitter user, which is an actual direct violation of the development policy. And I was looking into that. And it's clearly a violation. So if anybody wants to jump on that, because I'm not a lawyer, it's a very interesting, because here's the thing, Twitter does not like you to post personal information. They want you to generate that on your end. That's part of the whole trade exchange between data information for media services and public people, all those fancy high-dollar people that like to make tweet analysis. You can only post the ID of a tweet or the ID of a user. And Block Together publicly shows a list up to 10,000 people, and that's just one list. It shows their name, their description, where they've been, how long their account has been active, their followers, etc., etc. And to me, that's just a direct violation, and they should be taken up on that.
If this was, if all this shit that was happening right now, it's happening in America mostly. If this shit was happening in the UK, like all this plagiarism stuff that these motherfuckers are committing, and the false articles and stealing scores and manipulating the book, cooking the Guinness books, they'd be in fucking jail. It wouldn't be like this, like it is here. They wouldn't allow it.
Exactly. No, you're right.
And that's why they do it. These motherfuckers.
No, I agree. And let me just give the link out on this chat right here. Obviously, I'm not gonna publicly link. But if you look at this list, you're going to see all these people. I'm in it. I don't care. What I care about is the fact that people, their public information, are being shown more than Twitter allows these people and Block Together to do. I'm just saying, if you guys, Skynet and the following crew and all that, Twitter in their development automation policy frowns on automation and following people. However, they do not explicitly state anything about automating the block list, which is an abuse.
Holy shit.
That is abuse. That is abuse of their very service, but they do not explicitly talk about this. And I've been sending out a lot of tweets lately asking people, is this important that people are getting away with abusing the automated services of Twitter? This is against policy. This should be against policy. And I've been speaking to people, and they say they've been talking to Twitter, but they really haven't been in any public response about this. And this is not only impacting their service, because various companies are basically using
Just go with a simple solution on this. It looks like Twitter just disables accounts that have been reported N times, whatever N is. I don't think that there are moderators of Twitter like trolling Twitter and disabling accounts.
There's no way you can have moderators. Only administrators.
Yeah,
no way.
They never do anything.
This is just a technological thing. This is just some
This is
algorithm.
hurting business. This is hurting small businesses that want to rely on Twitter. This is hurting independent contractors.
Well, don't rely on Twitter then. Twitter can do whatever the fuck they want with their service.
I'm speaking to Twitter in this case. If people feel the need to go on and not use Twitter, I support that actually, because this is a problem. You're dividing your own user base, which is part of your business model, which makes
Well,
money.
if you want to make progress on that really fast, just get every single person that you know to report SRH butts or some shit. If feminists start getting their accounts removed, I bet you this shit will change like that.
Oh, trust me. No, it's FreeBSD is a developer. So, and I actually went through and generated my own version list of her scope of people. And a lot of these people are developers, and they're journalists and developers,
Well, for
etc.
some value a developer. I protest you calling FreeBSD girl a developer.
No, I understand. No, don't get me wrong here. I don't call her that either. By the
The only
title,
thing she's
what
ever
I'm about to
developed
state,
is a
let me
meth
state.
addiction.
Exactly. Let me state this, though. Isn't it against the law to boycott and suppress your own form of competition? I mean, Rockstar himself said this. He's not boycotting developers.
It's against the law to make meth in your bathroom, too.
Yeah, no.
That doesn't stop
Hear me
her.
out on this. Just yeah, exactly. No, I just wanted to clarify this, and I wanted to bring it to people's attention. And I have been spreading this to people I know, because I feel like I want to see what people say about that. Because I'm in this for Gamergate. I'm as a developer, but I'm also here to try to understand why the censorship thing is such a huge problem and it's not being dealt with. That's part of the thing. That's part of the thing that's been concerning me for the past month. I don't want to make her relevant. I don't even want to call her developer. But because of the federal
Well, how the fuck? Well, number one, how the fuck is there even radical feminism when 46% of gamers are fucking now women? So where the fuck is this unequal bullshit come into play? And that it's almost like a racism bullshit where people try to.
It's a race card.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. And you know what? Who cares whether women are good or not playing video games? You know what? Want the feminism shit to stop? Stop showing your fucking your pussy, and we'll leave you alone.
You're seeming to make the mistake of trying to make sense of something that's not supposed to have any intellectual consistency.
Oh, but it does. It's all the same.
What's up, Seal? What's going on?
It has intellectual consistency, but you guys are missing the point here. You can go for hours.
Dan, before you continue, Chris Hal, if you're listening, please check your YouTube discussion page. I provided a link there. I'm such a derp that I can't. I don't know exactly how to find your Google Plus account to just invite you directly in the call. If someone on the panel can give me a guide in the side chat here.
You have to give them the link. You have to give them the link. The link that's in the window for this call, you have to give them that link. That is
No. I know how to do that. It's just I need to. How do I add Caroline Hal from her YouTube page to the call itself?
Well, in the Google Plus, you have to go to the Google Plus page because you need the Google Plus name, and basically you just copy that name. Yeah,
Okay,
just the name, and you just copy that and paste it into the
all right.
ad somewhere.
Enough derping.
It's a pain in the ass, basically.
No, it's
what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, right. Circular arguments.
Before you continue, I just want to say, I appreciate my time, y'all's time, discussing these things, because, you have every right to be passionate. Even if you stray, you'll come back. That passion's there. It's going to stay.
At this point,
it's very important.
And riot with the Ferguson protesters. I'm so. I'll talk in a minute. Just go ahead.
Yeah, no, back on thing. I'm just basically, I'm really happy to see people are still getting on, still talking. Live streams, many people told me that live streams are becoming very useless. People are just talking. No. It's really, I really appreciated things like the open house. I really appreciated the Boom being on his a couple times, and then John Kelly here being on his a couple times, and it's opened up my eyes, and I was able to spread that information, and that really helps people. I don't see live streams as a bad thing. I'm just telling the people who've been saying that I feel you're completely wrong. The more we discuss, the more exposure of these issues. Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
There's more shit happening now.
Yeah, 8chan's kill.
What's going on?
8chan's completely gone, man. It's just over. I don't know if they're going to be able to fix it.
What do you mean? How is it gone forever? It doesn't make sense to me.
It got blown the fuck out so bad that you can't. The DNS won't even connect to it anymore.
Hold on. Can a website be permanently killed by DDoS attacks?
Yes, they can. Actually, yes.
No, it can't.
No, you cannot kill a website based on DNS. You can kill their services, but they can always find another service.
They're probably trying to put Cloudflare back on or something. Don't worry about it too much.
Ha! Don't worry about it too much.
You
Yeah.
have at least like 48 hours to take care of this. 4chan used to get DDoS like this every day. It's no big deal. We'll fix it eventually.
Yeah, it's a big fucking deal because it happens when we need it the most, when we have the most visibility and the most leaks going on. It's a big
We're
fucking
going to get
deal.
another month and a half out of this, dude. Don't worry about it. It's going to piss people off so much that it's going to do more damage than us sharing information ever could.
I hope they throw y'all's asses in fucking Gitmo for this, you little bitch faggots. Fucking hell.
Calm down, Zen.
I'm so pissed about this. You have no idea.
You guys should come on my
Whatever. Party man's a business match, so what's the worst that could happen? Oh, you know what? I probably shouldn't say that. What's the worst that could happen? Knock on wood. Let's hope that there is no worst that can happen. No, but what was I going to say? Circular arguments. You can keep going, for semantics on, what it is we're facing or what it is we're up against or so on and so forth. But it's pretty clear to me now. It's just authoritarianism. And the more that I'm looking at the Ferguson kind of stuff, the more I'm beginning to understand those people are mad for similar reasons, but the wrong reasons. They think that, oh, it's white people or, oh, it's this, because they have the SJW bullhorn, media blasting in their ear. But they're still mad because of the same perceived authoritarian slights. And, I think the way that ultimately the gaps will be bridged here and everybody as one, as one voice will finally start to come together on this shit is when people realize that it's, it's not the white people, it's not any one group of people. It's a bunch of authoritarian bullshit, and the fact that it's now in video games is absolutely infuriating to me. And it wouldn't be so bad if they would just leave us alone and let us have websites where we can discuss it. But no, we've got to, when all else fails, we just got to DDoS even your own, echo chambers. You can't even have an echo chamber anymore, for fuck's sake. It's like it's got to be 100% blanket censorship at all costs. Fuck the victims. And the irony here is that true social justice originally began as a movement dedicated to bringing civil rights to oppressed people and defeating authoritarian, policies that marginalize specific groups.
Then hold on, just saw something develop.
We got frosted butts in chat. Hey, what's up, butts?
Hold on. It looks. I don't know if that's actually SHR Butts. I think it's a troll, honestly. I mean, the odds of an anti coming on here and watching the stream are very, very low.
Oh, you'd be surprised at the kind of visibility we're getting now. No, I'm sure it is. Come on in and debate me. I don't
want to give this person.
We're still working on
Here's the thing. I just want to say this quickly. We will not be having. This is my stream. I'm making a call here. We will not be having SHR Butts on the stream because based on her Twitter activity, she has shown signs that she is not all right upstairs, and I don't say that out of spite or meanness. I just say that with concern, and I don't want to cause a shitstorm. So if she wants to stay in the chat, that's fine. That's her choice. If she wants to be a stream, that's her choice. I don't know. She's saying it's her in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah, that's her. That's her.
All right. That's fine. She can watch, but I do not want
I've seen
to
her.
invite
I've
her
seen
on
her
the
channel
stream.
before. That's actually her channel.
Yes.
With all due respect, Butts, I don't think it would be a good idea.
I'll debate you sometime if you want, Butts. You can add me on Google Plus or something. We'll make a big thing out of it. We could have chips and dip and shit. It'll be great. When we're done, we'll play Mario Kart.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you talk to Captain Sarah in that voice?
I don't mean to be mean about it either. Like, I don't have a problem with SRH Butts is not, not really somebody I view, so badly. I don't even view John McIntosh that badly. Actually, McIntosh is different because he has money. SRH Butts is not one of these people that has money. It's just an ordinary person with ordinary views. I have no problem with ordinary people with ordinary views. I have no problem with anti-GGers, even, as dedicated as they are, if they're ordinary people with ordinary views and they're not being paid by somebody to have those views. I don't have any problem with that. If you're an anti-GGer and you have, your views and you think I'm a misogynist, bigoted, feminist, hating, whatever, great, good for you. As long as you're not being paid to have that view, you're not rich and you're not quote-unquote privileged, as you so often call other people, which is exactly what Adidas Sarkeesian and John McIntosh and all these other, talking heads are. They are very privileged, in fact, themselves. So, people rag on SRH Butts all the time, but I mean, on Twitter, but I honestly, Like, okay, an ordinary person has different views than you, so we're gonna just yell at them all day on Twitter? No, then we're no better than the people we espouse to be fighting. So yeah, I mean, if you want to have an honest debate with me or Satan or something sometime, I'd be happy to do that. But I mean, I'll wreck your ass at debate.
Well, let's just see what develops. I mean, I don't. I see.
HR Butch is you seem to be thinking that they do anything really terrible. No, they just copy pasta every fucking tweet that people make.
Sometimes.
Basically, just doing what a lot of we do. We do the same shit. So it's not like you can't. If you're gonna blame HR Butts, you're gonna have to blame a lot of our people for the same fucking shit, dude.
Yeah. Is privileged by virtue of class, possibly, but not by virtue of her gender. I absolutely agree. Her gender has nothing to do with it. But she is privileged because she's incredibly, incredibly rich, and she's gotten incredibly rich by doing very unethical things.
I think that we should have this discussion at another time.
Yeah, we will.
If you want to follow me on Google+,
if you
I'll
want to
follow
have
you.
a debate,
We'll get in touch with each other and we'll do a stream sometime.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, but let me clarify my position here. When I say no right upstairs, that's just a personal opinion. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything. I just have some reasonable concerns about you, just in general, because you do get into a lot of fights, and I've seen them on Twitter, and I know that from our side, people have been instigating it themselves. Sometimes it's you. It doesn't really matter. I don't care about that. It's just I have some reasonable concerns. That's kind of why.
Okay. Just the chat just made a great point. Don't touch the poo. If Sarah wants to pop in and have a debate, let's make a separate stream for that. But later, focus on what we're talking about on the topic.
I do appreciate that you are willing to watch some of these streams, though. I will say that, and I think it takes
a lot of courage.
It takes someone of strong character to listen to someone who does not agree with them on the issues.
Yeah, that way she can report on what you're thinking about.
Basically. All right, back onto the topic at hand.
Back on topic. So I was actually taking it off topic again. So you guys were debating endlessly sort of like the theological type of thing behind it, and basically my whole point is that it's just blanket authoritarianism at this point. And what we ought to be focusing on more, I think, in these streams is digging. Like, I think Jessica had a great point. So, I know I kind of derailed that when I first came on because I just absolutely unleashed a torrent of rage. But I had to do that because what really gets me is the fact that Adrian is suddenly the subject of all this attacking, DDoSing BS like that. That is just so classless. I'm so sick of that kind of shit. There's no lulls to be had and stuff like that. There just isn't. Like, you can't
Caroline,
say,
hold on a minute. Someone I do want on the stream, Caroline, I gave you the link in a Hangout, and I gave it on your YouTube page. Just click the link. If you're having trouble with the link, load up Google Chrome, copy pasta the link into the Chrome, and just you'll be in. So
you're being rused, John.
Huh?
You're being rused.
What do you mean, by Caroline?
Probably.
She sees it. She's got the link. I just sent it to her in Google Plus, and I can see it.
Okay, I already talked to her. She's fine.
All right. If Caroline, if you can't come in, sorry. You did have the invitation, so there's that. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Because for me, I can never use Google Hangouts on Waterfox or Firefox. I actually have to launch it through Chrome.
There's a way to set it up so you can use it with Firefox, but I recently cleaned out my I use CC Cleaner on my computer, and it basically undid the settings for it. So it's really weird. So I don't know how that is, but we're not here to talk about technical difficulties. Anyway. What were we talking about last?
Back on topic.
Conversation.
How do we get back on topic? What is the topic?
I don't know. Anyone want to talk? We can talk about the leaks that Rockstar released again. Get back to that.
We'll get back. That's what the topic was about. Dig.
The topic.
Anti never answered my question.
I was discussing the Twitter thing, but y'all can go ahead.
Gonna take a little break. Knight, hold the fort.
Cool. What questions did you have over there, Rudy?
The question I have was, did you talk to Cat Despira in that voice?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Just over text.
Oh, okay.
It was like a fucking Facebook conversation or something. It wasn't that big a deal. Very early days of Gamergate.
Yeah, no, I understand. You know, where you get like the one personality side, and you don't get to see the other two. I get you.
I did get to see the other side, actually. She had friended me, so I got to see when she turned her back and started shit-talking me to all of her friends. It was funny.
But did you see the third side?
I didn't see the third side, no.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I got it too involved. I was pretending to be moderate.
No, I understand. I mean, when you have your time, or when you decide you want to look at anything, just go see for yourself. The private Facebook posts are posted with me and her.
I did come across that stuff. Some of it was actually a little bit too vitriolic for me. I don't think that I would have responded in that quite that way. But I understand why you did. I mean, there was money involved. There was a lot of lacking of respect involved, and they were basically taking your website away. I mean, I know what that's like. Thanks, Moot. Faggot. Moot is a faggot.
Who's that?
Moot. Do you know Moot? Christopher Poole?
I don't know him, but you know what? You mentioned the name. I know who it is. I just don't know.
He likes to clean anuses with his tongue.
Interesting.
Yeah. The dirtier the better for that guy.
Even hell doesn't tolerate that fetish.
We don't tolerate people like Moot down here.
Yeah, that's kind of scary, actually. Wow.
Wouldn't it be in the, what's the final ring of hell? Coyotes?
Coyotes. I'm actually having trouble coming up with anything worth talking about from the Roadstar League. It's just solid information. Everything
That would
in
be
it.
really funny if we got invaded by a bunch of weirdos right now.
Here we go. I got a good question in terms of that.
You talk about the tech.
In terms of the information Roguestar is given out, isn't this already stuff that we've had before? I mean, what makes it different this time around?
It's not stuff that we had before. The financial connections are not stuff that we had before. The numbers, the amounts. Oh, we didn't have any of that before. It's much more. I mean, we knew there was corruption, but like this is like fucking everything in one place. By the way, Carolyn, welcome to the stream, I guess.
It's happening.
Women against feminist gamers. Interesting.
That's our group.
Hello, Carolyn. How are you doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
The accent, like the accent.
Sorry, I had trouble getting in. Go ahead. Carolyn, you muted yourself.
Yeah, I know, I'm sick. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You're good.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm okay, dude.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Why?
Satan knows all about you.
This is a record for the
I don't know, it's like a dateline. I'm female, you know, and I'm here, and, you know.
What really pisses you off?
Women, mostly.
How does it make you feel?
Is it women, or is it women trying to speak for large groups of other women?
No, it's just women, basically. I don't like them very much.
I think they're pretty awful.
Is my dude still on here? Is my dude still here? Is Rudy still here?
Yeah, Rudy's right here.
I'm still here. I ain't going anywhere right now.
Don't worry, Rudy's still in our Google Hug box.
Okay, that's really cool, man.
Google commands.
I don't know. You're all weird to me because obviously I'm British, so, you know, I don't get, you know, half of what you're saying and shit.
Sorry, it's just we don't speak English.
Oh, you mean you don't speak British English? You do actually speak English because you
We don't speak proper English.
Oh, that's correct, sir. Yes, entirely.
I can understand you perfectly fine. You sound great.
I
Where you
know.
See.
Yeah.
This is why we have the Dark Lord in our call.
Yeah, so what are we talking about? What's going on? Did you see this leak of documents about the Indiecade Festival? What do you think about that?
I haven't got a clue. Well, at least I'm honest.
Hey, you know, neutrality isn't a bad thing.
Do you know this person, guys?
I know nothing. I know nothing.
Okay, so why don't we try this? Why are you here in this stream?
Probably
I don't know. Some dude sent me a link and said, "Oh, here you are. Just like go here and they're live now, and it's something to do with Gamergate and all that shit."
Yep. The great shitstorm of our time.
Well, to be fair, we haven't been very good at staying on topic.
And you know, I thought, oh, I'll join because they're against the, you know, the radical feminists. But I've been listening for almost 2 hours, and I haven't really heard much about people that are against radical feminist gamers.
The radical feminism thing is kind of just
It's a sideshow, really.
tangentially related. It's not
So
really the core reason why we're pissed off.
Okay, what are you pissed off about? I mean, like, what are you against?
I'll handle
Fighting
this
about?
one. I'll be happy to handle this one. Basically, the too long to not read version of it is for a long time now, probably the last 3 or 4 years, maybe longer than that, people have increasingly noticed corruption in the gaming industry, specifically games getting Metacritic scores that they don't deserve, games getting praise that they don't deserve, games, you know, certain games getting significantly promoted over other games, not on the basis of how many people play them or whether people like them or even what the quality is, but just, you know, because somebody said it was good. And so, basically the way Gamergate started was through the sort of unfortunate airing of personal baggage of a specific person who happened to be an indie game dev and also a radical feminist and also connected to this sort of cliquey group of industry and gaming media insiders. Through the airing of her dirty laundry, it became apparent that not only was there corruption, but it was far, far worse and more far-reaching than ever before. And so people started talking about that something like 4 or 5 months ago, and it just sort of snowballed. It got bigger and bigger. More and more and more corruption was unearthed. Quote-unquote journalists and quote-unquote media firms, people that are supposed to simply report things, you know, actively paying people to you know, not just go out and report things a certain way, but paying critics, paying video game reviewers, you know, paying Metacritic, paying everybody off essentially to specifically kill certain games that did not meet a specific narrative, things of that nature. And what ultimately made it a really big thing and really pissed people off was not so much the fact that this corruption was being unearthed, because it was sort of like, you know, everybody already expected something like this, but it was the fact that it was so much worse than anyone could have imagined, and it was the fact that increasingly websites all over the internet were censoring discussion of it because many of those websites had financial backing or ties to the very same media firms that were involved in these scandals. And, you know, of course, the 4chan thing and everything else happened, but, you know, lately what the biggest problem has also been, you know, even mainstream media sort of quote-unquote weighing in on it with just, like, you know, short little hit pieces and stuff. Nobody wants to fucking, you know, hear the truth. But more importantly, especially within the last, you know, 72 hours, it's sort of like, well, not only do people not want to hear the truth, but if you're going to publish the truth, we're going to actively try and knock you off the air. And so that's what people are pissed off about.
The same thing happens to players, just so you know. Just so you know. It's crazy. Wow. Didn't know.
Oh yeah, and there's the whole intimidation of video game developers, and basically any video game developers within the industry that don't go along with the whole clique are you know, bullied and doxxed and harassed, and you know, their games are wrecked, and you know, other horrible fun things are done to them. You know, people take their, you know, try to take their money, get their Patreons taken down, things like that. There's a whole other side to that too.
It ain't new, dude. It ain't new.
No,
you know,
it's not.
you're talking about like the 1980s. There was corruption back then in the gaming industry. I was born in 1974. You know, I was pretty young when I got into gaming because of my brother and my other siblings, and there was even corruption back then. It's nothing new.
Yeah, I'll absolutely agree with you. It's not anything new.
But now
it's
we're
pissed.
It's worse than it ever was. That's for sure.
Anymore.
Wait a minute, I'm just going for a piss. Be right back.
Awesome. But yeah, she brings up a good point.
It's worse than it ever was, though, guys. It's worse than it ever fucking was. It was never.
It does seem to be much worse. They were never directly attacking players before.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like, you know, this idea that, you know, oh, all gamers are dead. and the players are to be scorned. Like that's new. That's all new. This idea that and in conjunction with that, this idea that if you unearth the corruption, we're not just going to use a little bit of mob tactics, and then like in the past when you would do a corruption story, there would be mob tactics initially or something like when you were doing the story, but then once enough of it was outed, it would go away because the people would be caught. That's how it used to work. Now the way it works is there's mob tactics and it just continues and it gets worse and worse and worse. No matter how many facts you out about them, it just gets worse. Like today, for example, we out even more facts, even more financial ties, even more damning evidence, and what happens? Our fucking websites get DDoS.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. They tried to silence me too with my stuff for years. I never let it happen. I fucking put 100 YouTube videos out there exposing those motherfuckers, and they came after me with their lawyers and their people and said they were going to come to my house and everything. I said, come on, let's go. I don't give a shit. I said, I hate to shatter your ego. It's not the first time I've been threatened by law, so let's go.
How did that work out for you?
Nothing ever happened to me. What happened was Twin Galaxies lost ownership twice. People had lost certain contacts because of it. I mean, I know I did a lot of damage, and I'm proud of it. I have nothing to be ashamed of, and I would do it again even worse if I knew what I knew now.
But there you go. Nothing happened to you, and that's what's important. So see, there you go, guys. You can stand up to this shit. Don't be afraid of getting banned or something. There's a reason why people have lawyers. And you're not going to go to jail. I mean, people might sue you, but you're not going to go to jail. I mean, unless you actually go out and post doxes of people, you're not going to go to jail.
Well, I should have did that then. The Cat Spirit, she doxed me publicly on a fucking Facebook. But
Should have called the FBI.
I know. When I called my lawyer and he told me that she can fucking post somebody's IP address. However, it's unethical because it could have caused me harm if somebody really wanted to come to my house.
That's shady. That's not true.
The gray area.
Well, no, the IP thing is usually subject to state and local code, and so depending on that's one of those things where I would have turned to the lawyer and I would have said, okay, but what's the state and local code here? Because no, there probably almost certainly was a criminal violation. You're not supposed to, like, ISPs are one thing, but you're not supposed to post those. It can.
You Americans are so weird. You Americans are so weird. Honestly.
What's up?
I don't know. It's like in America, people could sue you for taking a shit in the wrong place. It's unbelievable.
That's one of the problems. That's partly the reason why social justice has become so big here in the last 20 years or so, is because of this. I had a really good friend actually in academia. He's a history professor. Very, very well respected, and he told me once the problem is this pseudo legal culture, lawsuit culture, basically, where legal language has been invented to essentially allow more lawsuits and therefore allow the legal industry itself to sort of hold itself up. And the problem is that law is not law anymore. Law is now an excuse to either take rights away or make it harder to do certain things or to do this and do that. But increasingly, law is a tool of politics and not a tool of liberty and a higher standing and a higher calling as law should be. So that is sort of where that comes from. It's a fucking lawsuit society now, where anybody can get sued and anything that's offensive. Get you, increasingly it's moving towards anything that's offensive can get you put in jail. I know that in Britain, you guys have it even worse than we do. I've been following what's been going on in Britain for several years. I mean, I've heard horror stories.
They have it worse as far as their country goes, but if they do stuff that has to do with these assholes in the U.S., they can't get touched, and that's the wonderful thing about it.
I actually pulled out a book for a quote. Guys,
there are a lot of different censorship laws.
Hello, I am in the.
Let me ask her. Tell us about it. What's it like in the UK?
Shithole, basically. But our law is a lot different than yours. It's like, oh my God, I've got obesity. I'm going to sue McDonald's because I became too fat. We can't do that. They'd laugh us out of court.
Yeah.
Seriously, dude, they would.
I do have a quote though. I did pull out. I actually opened a book. The question is, how much justice can you afford?
How many what? Sorry, dude.
How many
How much?
justice? Go ahead.
How much justice can you afford?
Well, over here, it's not like America. We get free healthcare, we get free justice, we get free kind of a lot of things. It's called working and paying your tax. And although we hate doing it, we've got to do it. But we get free healthcare and, you know, we get free justice.
We don't need to work over here. We have Patreon. We can just get the guy whose dick we sucked 5 times to pay for us for the rest of our life.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you
Carolyn, if I
serious?
can,
I'm serious. That's why we're all pissed off. This fucking person literally did.
Carolyn, if I can correct something you said.
Yeah, sure, dude. Go on.
When lawsuits have been filed at fast food by fat people that they were made fat by the fast food corporations. As
Yeah.
far as I'm aware, those cases have all been thrown out. So we actually do laugh out those people out of court. And another example, another frivolous lawsuit that happened, the one where this lady sued McDonald's for hot coffee.
If I have
I
to.
know about that case. That was at my McDonald's in Mamaroneck, New York. I know
That
everything
is
about
so out of my realm. I don't even get what you dudes are talking about.
Yeah,
You're, you're a fat bastard because you eat too much. That's how
I
we
have
see
to
it.
interject here. That hot coffee case had legitimacy because there were third
He
degree
won that fucking
burns.
case, but who knows if she really did it? You know, she might have done it to herself, but she won.
Well,
She
if you'd seen the pictures of which required skin grafts, the burns were incredibly serious.
I know, but how do we know that that's not all media bullshit? We don't know.
Because
Yeah.
they actually showed pictures, and yeah, it was extensive, and you'd have to be out of your mind to intentionally give yourself third-degree burns on your inner thigh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not arguing that. You might be right, but yeah, I know about that case, and that case did not get thrown out. She got like $3 million.
Yeah, but then McDonald's launched a slander campaign because they were able to buy
million.
her out of talking, in which
How
they
funny
told
is
her
it?
was a
million.
frivolous
Where I grew up at.
Wow.
There's over McDonald's, by the way.
I need to move to the United States of America, dudes. I need to come over there with my fat self and sue McDonald's, dude.
Do you make shitty video games? Because if you make
Are you
really shitty video games and you're a woman, you got it made.
I'd love
Oh
to
my
ask you
god,
about
dude, I'm gonna join Anita Sarkeesian's group because then I'm gonna sue the fuck out of all your asses, man. And then I'll just be fucking loaded and, I'll be swanning around with my fucking big ear hoops and my fucking red lipstick and tell everyone to fuck off. All men are the same, man. Come on, man.
Hashtag kill all men.
That is actually a hashtag now.
29 signatures to go, guys.
Yeah, there's not many now. We're doing so good. That bitch is trying to come to the United Kingdom. She has got no chance.
It's crazy, dude. There was 4,600 signatures needed not even 3 hours ago. It's amazing.
So, who are you talking about? I'd actually like to know more about this petition and this person that you're talking about. Please explain.
Ms. Anita
That's the Anita Sarkeesian. Remove her from Mirror's Edge game development.
She's God. She's God, dude. Don't you know? She's
Can we link
God.
that shit in the chat? We'll get a 98 more fucking...
Yeah, I'd like to know more about what it is that she was supposed to be coming to the UK to do, and
Yeah.
Allow links. I don't think. Let me see.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
she was supposed to be going to like schools and shit like that in the United Kingdom, and basically they said, I don't think so. We don't want that kind of shit.
Sorry. 12 needed.
Oh, this is great. This is a good read. Let's see.
There was
Neither
40
does not speak for gamers, female or otherwise, on the difficulty or appeal of games. She only offers personal insights catering to her own agenda. In fact, she went so far as to say that women needed a whole new simplified control set for this game, based on her personal experiences, passing them off as the opinion of the female gaming community. In the past, she has even spoken against her status as a gamer, only to rebut her stance to serve her own purposes. Well, I couldn't have said it better myself.
It's over. It's been done. I can't believe it. 48 hours and it's fucking fully. What do you call it? Done.
guys in the chat, why don't we signal boost this a little bit? Go out and tweet this. Everybody who's in the live chat, obviously we can't put links in the live chat. But we'll go ahead and tweet it out, and you can find it. You'll be able to find a link to this on my Twitter at 10MinuteGamer. And yeah, signal boost this, guys. Sign this petition. Keep Anita Sarkeesian out of the UK.
Done it. No,
Hey,
you don't
Jim,
keep her out
Send
of
her
the
to
UK.
the UK. I don't want her in my country.
Piss
Should we send her
off,
to
you can
Afghanistan? Let's let ISIS deal with it.
Yeah, I'd love to see
I
how
don't have
she,
confidence in a
reacts to this.
petition.
Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. Why don't we start a Kickstarter dedicated to send Anita
She's got a big
Sarkeesian
nose.
to Iraq? This would be actually a really good idea. Why don't we start a Kickstarter dedicated to sending Anita Sarkeesian to Iraq with the explanation attached that says the reason we want to send her to Iraq, no, I'm serious. The reason we want to send her to Iraq is because we believe that the women living under the rule of ISIS are being
There's nothing like happening in Iraq right now.
That'd be great.
Everyone's fucked off. There's no one in Iraq.
How many signatures does it need? First it said it was done, now it says another 10,000 needed. How does that work? Are there plateaus or something? Like you get
Guys, when it comes to online petitions, in 99.99% of cases, they don't work. I mean, the fact that the petition for Target and Kmart in Australia actually worked is surprising. Oh, who's that?
I mean, everything helps, right?
I didn't know I could actually mute you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but let's just face it. If you sign a petition asking someone to be banned from a country,
I don't know. It happened in the UK. We got rid of our what do you call Home Office Secretary or something. I don't know. It worked, so
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm gonna keep positive.
That bitch will outlive the lot of us. Believe me. She's like flipping Satan's.
all right, chat's asking us to get back on topic. So
I don't have anything to do with this. Don't blame me.
all right, I'm not blaming you, Satan.
Do we have
Staying on
anything
topic
left
is
to
devil
talk
worship
about, or should we just start wrapping up the stream?
You know what? That's a good idea because honestly, I don't know how long I can continue, and this was a rather impromptu stream. I'm actually rather satisfied by the discussions we've been having here.
Yes.
It seems like the spontaneous ones always work out better.
I'm gonna get going to bed then, and you guys know how to reach me, and we'd love to have you guys on the show as well. So let me know.
Yeah, you should come on our show.
I think
Lots of cursing, lots of fun. Come on, fucking just have a good time.
I'll definitely take you guys up on that. Contact me on Twitter. Might be a good way to start. But I'm also on IRC a lot, Burgers and Fries. So
We recently relaunched Operation Skynet, so it's going to be easier for people to stay connected.
Yeah, Rudy, you're gonna have to contact us on Twitter.
Got my Twitter right, the Rudy Ferretti03. Just add me, I'll add you, and we'll chat.
Can you put it in the
put your Twitter handles into the side chat, and then we'll post them up on the YouTube.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to get everyone's Twitter handles.
Okay.
Probably be updated tomorrow.
Okay. Well, you guys have a good night then.
You too. Appreciate having you.
Planning on doing another stream later.
Yeah, I'm out of here now too. So.
All right. Have a good night.
Nice to meet you, dude.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Respect. Take care. Bye.
Ciao.
As for another stream, yeah, there will be more streams. Like I said, most streams I do are kind of planned and have a purpose. This one did have a purpose, of course. It was to discuss the IDF stuff and recent happenings on 8chan, 4chan, 2chan, Twitter, stuff like that. And we actually had a lot of great discussions tonight.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, definitely spread this. Definitely spread Solution 6 everywhere. Make it known what's happening. Try to if you have contacts with the press, send it to the press and let them know. They're going to want to get in on this because it's exploding everywhere. There's been big online wars over this, and not exaggerating. That's what's happening. Basically, somebody doesn't want this information leaked.
Yeah, yes. Somebody really does not want this stuff being passed around, and it looks like 8chan is more or less back up now. I think they're finally getting control of it, so hopefully things will work because I really want to pick up a lot of the new users that are coming off of 4chan, and we can't do that. The site's not working right. So Hot Wheels, I wish you luck, man. If there was anything I could do. But yeah, please support HN, you guys. I will show a little bit for it. It is run on donations, as Hot Wheels pointed out himself. There's a Patreon for it, which I think you can find via his Twitter, which is @infinitechan.co. So please support HN, especially right now, because it seems like harder than normal.
All right. Yeah, like I said, keep spreading the document around. Follow Roguestar. Go to Roguestar's Tumblr and follow the guys there. He has lots of information of what to do, and there's going to be some more stuff. I hear that from him that there's going to be more stuff in the works to continue with the IDF stuff. So stay posted, stay tuned. Rejoin Op Skynet. Zan Echo. I'm gonna mute Zan for a sec. Sorry about that, Zan. Yeah, so just hashtags to keep in mind. Op Skynet Solution 6. Have a good night, everyone.
Hey, Satan, that's what I'm listening to.
Solution 6. Have a great night, everybody.